Fucking poison out there.
What up? What up? It is Monday, November 14th, December 14th, 2020. I'm Brandon Toy, host of the Ranty with Brandon show, soon to have a new name, but we'll stick with that for now. I messed around with my levels on my microphone to try to cause less crackling and stuff. So if it is too loud, let me know. Or if it's good, let me know. I'd appreciate that. All right, let's see who we got in the chat tonight. We've got John D. Flathead, Nick, Ian Adams, The Plain Truth, Mark, Page 42, Rob Keene, SE Montreal, Cleary, Ranty. What's up, Ranty? We've got Truther Kitties, Everything is Questionable, Bill G, Mike Dornan. Hey, Mike. Let's see who else. Expose Antarctica. What's up, man? Allie B. Hey, Allie. And YouTube. Can't forget Ute. They. 1 second. Having some issues. Damn it. All right.
Should have an idea.
I can demonstrate
There
the
we go.
air becomes
we're
heavier
good
with
now.
temperature and water vapor.
Okay.
That's demonstratable.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now. I think we're there. Woo! That sucked really, really bad. Yeah, just died for no reason. Whoever said that was absolutely correct. And I just changed the levels back down to where they should be. Should have been really loud for a second. And now good. Sorry about that, guys. I have no idea when it stopped working. And yes, clearly my caps is lock is, or page, my cap lock is working. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now. Apologize for that. I think we're good. I see the meter going. And yeah, it just fizzled out there for a second. So whatever. Tried to restart things and get it going, but damn it. All right. Anyway, Ian Adams, give me the thumbs up. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't know what you guys heard, but I got a bunch of stuff for us planned tonight. If you'd like to support the channel, please go to Streamlabs at this link right here and give me a couple bucks in my tip jar, or you can super chat, but I prefer Streamlabs. It's a lot easier to do. I'll pin that to the top as always. That'd be cool. And then I did want to plug something else. What was it? Oh, yes. 1 second. Ranty has a new venture going with cats. Yeah, that cats. And they've got a new show called Almost Unbelievable. Here's the link to the YouTube channel. If you could go over there and subscribe, that'd be really cool. Just take a second, subscribe. That's all I'm asking there. And then you can pick up whatever he posts on YouTube and find your way over to his Spotify. Get that thing going. And yeah, still got audio. Okay. Isn't that weird? I was talking about how paranoid I was about the levels and then it just cut out. Well, what do you say we get into Discord, since I killed enough time with that, and see how everybody's doing and go from there?
Yeah, I mean, hey, I have a mechanism. Now, the thing is, part of that gas pressure, now when you say requirement of a container, like now you're getting into things that like are non-establishments. Just because you can show that you can put gas in a container doesn't mean we are in some kind of like scuba tank, right?
You're splitting hairs, and that's the whole problem in this. No one can ever go anywhere with this nonsense. It's over. So what can I say?
What's up, guys? Before you get too deep into that,
what is that?
what's going on? That was Jimbo I heard talking. What's up, Jimbo?
Well, we're just hearing the reasons why we should split hairs on everything, and definitely not talk about anything, because there's always going to be the two sides. We can't prove we have a barrier, but we know in general, we need a container for gas. But there's not proof. That doesn't prove we have a barrier. You know, what? We talk about air pressure and, well, you know, the vacuum towards space and stuff. We can't talk about that because it's Glober talk.
We can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about, really. But
I figure. Yeah, I figure.
Hello.
Hi, Brandon.
Hello. Anyway, let me say hello to everybody, and then we can, you guys can
Hi, Brandon.
continue this. Hi, Rob. We got Allie B in the house. What's up, Allie B?
How you doing, Brandon? Shout out to your little debate the other day. Nicely done.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That was good. Enjoyed that. So.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a couple things from that, too, that I want to go over. Thanks, Jimbo. We've got Travis.
Hello. What ho?
What's up, man? And you got a picture of yours that we're gonna look at when you have time to focus on it. So just let me know, and we'll take a look at that. And then we've got Helvetica Bold. What's up, man? That is Mark.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just listening in. I'm busy with the family. Hi, everybody.
Cool, man. Good to have you. Jeremy.
Holler at your boy.
What's up, man? Kosho's on Deafin. We've got Ranty Flat Earth in the house. What's up, Ranty? He must be just listening too. SE Montreal. There he is.
Hey, bro. Good evening, everybody.
What's up? Rob already said hi. Shrimpy, who I think is Aaron Armstrong. Maybe he's just listening. What's up, Aaron? Bob Dole. The real
Hello.
Bob Dole. Hey, Bob. And we've got Right the Hand. What's up, man?
What up, man?
All right. So how's everybody doing tonight? What's going on? Anything amazing happen over the weekend?
Well, it's not not flat Earth related, but I entered a arm wrestling competition and got first in my weight class, full pants.
Damn. Yeah, but in your weight class, you were probably going against like what, 14, 15-year-old boys or what?
Fired.
At least they were men, right? At least they were male this time.
He was a female for that duration of the weekend, and so he was able to enter their competition.
Oh, smart move.
No,
Did you identify as a woman?
No, but if you Google, there was a very good female arm wrestler there, Sarah Bachman, who probably, I would say that she probably could beat me, but yeah.
So I got to ask you, did you tell her that females shouldn't be arm wrestling?
Well, no, she got beat, but I didn't say she can't. You're just, bro, you're not good. She lost to some random, and she's the top of the female. So like, there's a huge difference in like the strength.
Oh, I agree. I'm just giving you shit. Yeah, I totally agree.
I think you should put the challenge out like you did the last time.
Well, so here's I will most likely I will arm wrestle her eventually, right? Like it's just a matter of because I'm going to be moving up in just the thing, and I'm sure we'll cross paths and it'll happen.
Okay, cool, man. Let's see what else is going on. What do I want to talk about first? I saw a comment just go by that they're saying there's an even more dangerous strain of COVID south of the UK. Ranty, you were posting about that earlier, weren't you?
LOL.
Yeah, I posted that to you.
I just want to say, how it spread quicker? There's 14 days of no symptoms. How are they knowing it's spreading quicker when the entirety of the virus's uniqueness is that it shows no symptoms for the first 14 days or whatever?
Yeah, that's a good question. Are they like flooding the media channels with this, or is this something that just popped up as a blip? Is this their new story?
This is on BBC
worse.
News. So this is like the main news outlet.
So it's probably a lie.
Well,
Yeah.
Does the vaccine cover this more dangerous strain? Or
Absolutely. Funnily enough,
new vaccine.
No, funnily enough, this new vaccine, the vaccine that they've made, will be just as good at defeating this new strain as the old one.
Oh, well,
So
there you go. That sounds like the angle. Then get everybody riled up. If they were calming down, now they might get riled up again about super COVID and go ahead and go out and get their vaccine when maybe they wouldn't have.
Isn't the whole idea of a vaccine, it's the virus, but it's like dead so your body can make immunity? So how, if the virus evolved, it's just something your body has never seen, how would getting a dead version that is not infecting you help at all? Like, it's just, even if you believe this stuff, it doesn't add up. That's how you know it's a lie.
No idea, man. I certainly am not a doctor. I have no freaking clue how that stuff works. But I do know that I don't know anybody who's been sick, and that there's not a bunch of people around me that are in the hospital or anything like that. I know that. But hey, make of it what you will. Seems like a pretty good marketing campaign for transferring
Well, are
trillions
you
of
a
dollars
straight
of wealth.
white male? Because that's probably part of your privilege that you aren't affected by as many diseases, okay? It's disproportionately affecting minorities. Okay?
Okay.
It
Oh
doesn't
my
affect
goodness.
flat earthers, though. How weird is that? No flat earthers ever gotten COVID.
They're still working on that strain. Trust me.
The flat Earth
The
strain,
astronaut. We don't believe it, so it didn't affect us.
Yeah, you don't know.
COVID can't operate without gravity, so we're tricking it. We're outsmarting it.
That's it, bro.
How come there's no COVID that gives you a longer and bigger, harder erection or something? Like, acts like Viagra,
I think I got that one.
You think you got that?
What
one.
just happened to this conversation? Can we please move on?
I
to
got
something?
Viagra.
I don't know. I
Don't
have to
just
say
like
something.
sit there in
Hard.
silence and let that be the last
I
thing that
didn't
someone
know what
said.
to say, Bob. I had no idea what to say, dude.
Come on, that was funny. That was funny.
It was pretty funny.
I was gonna say the best thing Jeremy said in a while.
All right. Well, let's talk about something. Travis, are you good now, or do you want to wait, do your stuff later?
Well, I mean, we can talk about it. It's an image. I'm driving right now, and I'm probably got another 30 minutes or so before I'll be stopped. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with you guys discussing it because you guys can look at it all you want. I've seen it, and so I can, add my 2 cents.
Yeah, okay. You're probably pretty familiar with it. Let me open this up because I thought this was a really good one. And I'll share it on the
image
Discord.
or a photograph?
It's a photograph.
Well, it's digital.
Well, it's an image of 2 photographs put side by side.
Oh,
boy.
okay. All right.
It's not like a
Yeah,
NASA image.
real quick.
It's, it came through a lens, if that's what you mean.
Hey, Travis, let me ask you something real quick. Let's say you're looking through a still water, okay, and you're looking at an image. Then somebody starts stirring the water. What do you think would happen to the visual image, like you looking at it? Do you think it would drop at all? Do you think it would change?
Yeah, for sure.
It'll
So you're
suffer a change.
So you're talking about looking in water, like say to the floor of the stream or floor of the lake or whatever. You're looking at the ground.
No, like looking like how Ranty and Brandon did their experiments, looking through a tank of water.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So then the tank. Let's say we've got Brandon's tank, and he's got everything in it, and it's all settled and it's all still and tranquil. And then you put in a paint stirrer and give it a nice little shove and make the water move. You're asking me if I'm going to think if the image is going to change? Yeah, it'll change.
The thing I'd like to know is the time both these images were taken.
Does it?
Time of day. Because that affects every image that you take.
Let me make the screen bigger.
Morning, evening, and then
If you're
during the
looking
day.
at the underwater part, because like it's the top part of the water moving that makes things shift, doesn't it? Underwater, wouldn't it just like it wouldn't matter how much it's moving underwater, would it?
Well, we're okay. So, in my opinion, we're mixing phenomena right now. So, when we're talking about looking through Brandon's fish tank, that's a completely different medium than looking through air. So, it's not going to be similar, right?
Yeah,
So,
air is a single medium. It's
Well-
considered like heterogeneous.
Yeah.
sure.
I think it's just denser and denser. I hate using that word, but whatever. It's like you'll get the same effect, but in a smaller area.
Okay,
Well,
can I
I-
just
I
Can
still
I
contend
ask a question?
that
I want to
need
clarify
get-
something because I'm imagining this scenario in my head, and I'm thinking, if you have this tank and you put the stick in, and you're only looking at the water underneath the surface, and you move the stick, you can't watch water move through other water and like see it visually, can you? The way I'm imagining it wouldn't look like anything changed to you.
You
It's
see
only when you're looking
turbulence.
through the surface water that you see the change, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell
You
you,
can
when
see
I
a
was doing my
white
experiment and I would dump in the hot water, I filmed that. And yeah, exactly as Jimbo said, you do see kind of like some turbulence. And
Yeah,
that
when you
actually,
watch
that
it-
even caused, in some cases, I've got a little film of this, something to be concealed. That little car that was in my tank, when that turbulence was taking place, it was like kind of rocking back and forth within the water. And it did cause areas to be concealed.
When you watch fish from the shore and the lighting's right, and the fish moves, you can see a little like disturbance, clouding, and wake turbulence behind the fish. A shadow forms when the water's, turbulent or something. It obstructs the light.
Right, exactly. And I did a
Okay.
I did a couple of sessions that I called readings in refraction earlier this year, and that was a part of my discussion of shadows. When you're looking, if you're underwater and you've got a camera and you're looking up and you see the light coming in, And so you would see rays of light coming in, but then there's a section where it's dark. That's what I would attribute to what Jimbo and what Brandon said. You've got a disturbance in the water at that point that creates an obstruction, which forms the function of what a physical object would in terms of blocking the light. So in terms of what we would call internal refraction, there is so much density in that spot that you lose sight of the car. Like Brandon said, the car disappeared at certain points, right? So the density in front of the car blocked the car. But at the same time, let's say that there was a flashlight where the car was, and you had that disturbance, you would have an obstruction at some point in front of that light so that it would look like there was a tree or a wall in front of it, so that it would make the light go around that object. Does that make sense?
Also, when it comes to so-called the refraction in the fish tank, the refraction doesn't occur until after the addition of the sugar. It is the result of the sugar and its dextrorotatory nature that causes the refraction of light in your sugar water. That condition doesn't exist in air.
It doesn't exist in air with sugar, right?
Well, the fact is, do you see buildings bent like a pencil in water? That's the refraction we're talking about. I don't see buildings bent. I see compression, looming, other stuff they call it, but not refraction.
So I've said that before. Yeah.
I would like to. So when I think of air, I think air is clean. Now, it's not the air that starts creating; it's the things that are in it. Now, when you and that's why sugar in the water works very similar to looking in the atmosphere, because the atmosphere and water are both very clear. But when you start putting sediments in them, you're not only looking at the sediments, but the sediments will start reflecting, and then you're seeing all these tiny little reflections off these very smooth surfaces of these particulates in the water.
And tons of water vapor varying in density with temperature all day long in front of you, dancing in front of your camera lens and your eyes. Look, it all comes back to this optical activity it creates. Like you say, air, like water, is pure, optically pure. And when something interferes with it, it causes activity in the optical range. And they call it optical activity. And the subject of refraction falls under the umbrella of optical activity with a lot of other visual phenomena. So expand the vocabulary. Please allow people to grow in the community and get a greater glossary of terms and definitions. Research a bit more.
All right.
Okay, even though you're interrupting me, I'll let you finish. Let me just say though,
sure.
the optical, he says optical effects. What he's talking about is there are actually things in the air that, picture if you have two like shiny balls right next to each other, they'll make a reflection off of themselves that you'll then see the image in, although it be small. If that happens on this huge scale, that's when you can start getting these mirages and mirror imaging.
Yeah, good point. Well, let's look at these pictures
right here.
Huh?
A refraction underwater is an underwater mirage. Okay, when you refract your pencil underwater or light hits water and deflects and deviates like it does, it creates a mirage.
All right.
So you're seeing the pencil bent. You're actually seeing a mirage.
I'll buy that. You could call it a mirage, I suppose. Is there an official name for it?
Official, yes, that is the official. It's a mirage.
Okay. So let's take a look at these two pictures and see what you notice, the differences between the left and right. And just take a minute to look at them and see what you notice. This is the same focal length, Travis?
Yep.
Were you in the same exact position?
Yep.
Okay.
The house on the left is almost 3 times as big as the image of the house on the right.
The whole back of the trees are bigger. I think it's a magnification. Yep. This is like one of those effects that where you can get, since there's like I said, air and water. They can, if it's clear, it can work like a lens that can magnify.
Is this proof that atmospheric magnification right here, or what?
Atmospheric lensing.
Yeah, I would consider it. Yeah, I would consider it an example of magnification. On the right, you can clearly see those two trees and the trunks underneath them. And then if you look to the left, you can find those two trees, but then you can see the pasture underneath those two trees on the left. But on the right, the pasture's gone and the trees are larger.
So I've been arguing atmospheric magnification with them all day today over in Gems, and they deny it.
Of course they do. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. It's because they have not gone out and shot it themselves.
Yeah, very few of those guys have actually done the put the time into analyzing these. Even Rumpus, he's got that 300-page document he's been showing us for a long time. And remember when we asked him how many times he's went out and actually done firsthand observations? He pretty much said never, right?
The cherry pickers anyway, they don't want to vary from what they see as their perfection proof,
This is really fascinating though. I mean, so yeah, you said a house on the left. Are you talking about this brown spot here, Jimbo?
Yeah, that looks like a big chateau or something there.
That's what I thought it was at first. I think it is a sand hill. Like a
It
sand.
sort of looked like it had doorways and arches, so I thought it was a house of some kind.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that's
Okay, so
okay.
just so
The house being bigger is not so much a big deal. The ability to see the pasture is.
Yeah,
Right, 'cause
that pasture
magnifying
is
something
huge,
you
Yeah,
right?
can see- Magnifying something you can see is one thing, but being able to see quote unquote further defeats their entire argument.
Yep.
Good point. That I missed, but that's a great point.
Yeah, there's this whole, what is this, a yard, Travis? Or a field or something over here?
Well, yeah, that would be absolutely fantastic to be able to find out where that is. Now, I can see it on Google Earth, but it is, according to Google Earth, from where I shoot, it's 12 miles away. And in order to get there, it's like an hour and a half drive. So I have yet to make that drive, but I could possibly talk my friend Derek O'Hara, who has been a partner in crime, to do that, because he's farther south than I am, and he could actually make it in less time. But I don't know if it's private property. I would imagine it might belong to somebody. Yeah, it would be fantastic to be able to get somebody down there. I actually have another image that I can produce maybe tomorrow or something with one of these images in contrast, where okay, so if you see on the left image,
Yeah.
halfway up to the right, you've got that dark copse of trees.
Yep.
Okay. So in this other image that I have, you can see the water extend all the way past those trees. You can see the trees, and then past the trees, you can see water beyond it going around that cape. So you can actually see farther into the distance. But in that image, you can't see it because it's cut off by mirage.
You know what else is cool? The field on the left. It's like we have atmospheric zooming here, right? Look how clear it is. Like it's like you zoomed in. It's like the atmosphere zoomed in there.
Yeah.
What
That's
if you
freaked
took a
out.
boat? Picture you took a boat to that pasture. Would you disappear under the horizon to then come back up over it?
Right,
Exactly.
right. Yep, that's a
Exactly.
great.
Well,
great
it almost confuses. If I wasn't looking at this from, a flat Earth point of view and just saw these two photos, I'd think right away there were two different levels of water in the lake. And, it was
Is the
taking
pasture under
Yeah,
the curve
exactly,
on the right?
Exactly.
I wonder.
Exactly. Yeah.
Beautiful picture, bro.
To me, on this one on the right, I agree with you, Jimbo. To the one on this right, looks like this water is higher, like visually at a higher altitude than this one. And I think that's that proximal
Guys.
looming we always talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like the level
Well,
is higher.
Oh, it's the curve,
Only
bro.
an
It's the
apparent
curve.
thing, yeah, I
Come on.
know. Just in an
Well, the way
illusion.
the way that I say it is that the right image looks as though I got closer and lower.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, or that, yeah.
to the
Yeah,
water.
you duck down the camera a bit there, a few feet.
Well, I'm surprised we haven't summoned Rumpus yet
Yeah.
to come in and
Yeah, and that's
accuse
exactly
you.
why.
Go ahead, Travis. Oh, we must have lost him for a minute.
Well, just to keep
I
in
got a lot of
spirit,
feedback, so
start bashing on him
I got
for fun.
This can only happen on a flat plane. Like not even joking around. This you can only have that.
Well, water is a mobile fluid and it finds level. And that doesn't matter how big a container is.
Why do you say that, right?
For sure this happened on a flat
It's
surface.
a rule about mobile liquids. You know, they're like rules in the lab and in chemistry and stuff. You have different viscosities of liquids. You have mobile liquids. You have solids. They're states of matter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And if the rule for liquids is that they find level, why would it change if it was on a lake and it's a liquid on a lake or a liquid in a 45-gallon drum?
Well, I'm not going to give you the bullshit that they come up with, but
it's just
space-time's
generalities.
bending.
But fluids
Space-time.
find level.
Unless you got space-time bending.
yeah, don't you know about cesium clocks? Hey,
And dilation.
Were you listening to us earlier in Gems?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
You can put water or alcohol in the little glass in a spirit level, or a mixture of both. Denaturated alcohol if you want. It don't matter. It's a liquid. It'll work in your bubble, in your float.
Sure. Right, hand. You said this wouldn't work on, or you said this could only happen on a flat plane. Why did you say that? What do you mean?
Well, because it would be the only surface that would allow you to get different, have something be somewhere and then kind of, because if it's a physical drop, it would never come back up, right? Like if you have visual effects that allow you to see further or shorter, then it's non-physical. So then it's a horizontal plane. You don't have any physicality, and you see. And if the atmosphere allows you, you can see further, like the picture on the left.
Yeah, let me jump in just real quick. That's exactly the point that I made in my previous video. I think I might have been shooting the Chesapeake number 34 or 33 maybe, where I had a sailboat in an inferior mirage. But beyond that sailboat, you could see the ground level. So the apparent horizon in their world is the curve. So I can't see the hull of the sailboat because it's behind the curve. But beyond that, I can see the ground level. So it went down and then came back up.
Yeah, just impossible.
I'm linking Travis's channel. If anybody's not familiar with it, he has tons of firsthand observations and analysis over there. Go check it out. Most people are familiar with it, but there it is. And you can also find him in the featured channel section on the Ranty YouTube channel. That's cool.
Just look back and forth from one to the other. It looks like the land is popping up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Fucking space-time bending, I'm telling you guys.
Look at this.
It's the first thing you see is that field there, man. Look at that. Where did it go? Under? It's under the curve there on the right.
You know that we don't talk about it enough, but that proximal looming and the admission by Rumpus that stuff in the foreground, such as water, can rise up, loom up, and block stuff in the background. That pretty much falsifies all their evidence, their visual evidence that they've ever provided us.
They've only recently started to admit that too. Before they were saying, no, that can't happen, impossible. That's a new thing. That's new shit. DJ Clue.
Yep. All right. Well, that's cool. Thanks, Travis. That's a cool picture. Good stuff, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. All right.
I might add too, on Travis's site, the videos are usually short and to the point. You don't have to like look through a 5-hour film and find time spots. They're short and they're sweet.
Yeah, absolutely. And what is it? Saturday night, movie night, Travis?
Yeah, that's hosted on my channel, but under the control of Smurfer Girl Whatevs. Saturday night, she usually starts out with a premiere, and then she'll transition over to her DLive channel for other follow-ups.
Okay. How's she doing over there on DLive? Are you on DLive?
I do have my channel there, but I don't produce anything there. I don't know. I mean, she's, we've got a small little group that shows up on those Saturday nights. I don't know that she does anything else on that channel other than movie nights.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right. Well, we had a couple other people join us. We had Flurfer Nerfer, who I believe is a sphere enthusiast. Hi, Flurfer Nerfer. And we had Left Lane. Howard, you got a new icon. What's going on?
Just eastbound, hammer down. You know me.
Driving tonight, huh?
Oh yeah.
Were you able to see the picture? You or maybe perhaps Flurfer Nerfer, were either of you able to see the picture that we were just looking at, or did you listen to the analysis that we just did? Say analysis in quotes. We were just talking, really, but
yeah, just talking about it. I listen and I take the information in. The only thing I had a problem with was like talking about seeing land beyond the curve. Oh, you need some land with elevation to see land beyond the curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's at the same elevation, same distance, same everything here.
I think what Howard's saying is this could be, you're going to see on a globe, you would see kind of a horizon. Let's call it your geometric horizon. And then beyond it, some ways, if there was land that was at a certain elevation, you would see land beyond that because it would be high enough to for you to see it.
In Travis's picture, though, are we seeing the land where it meets the water, or is it just land?
I don't think we can tell. It's so close to the ground, but maybe he knows.
Yeah. Well, right, exactly. At this point, I would say that I don't know if I guess it would be the Rayleigh Criterion. If you're looking at where the water seems to meet the land in the distance, that angle of view is so acute that the information gets lost. So I have not personally, I have not seen in any of my observations my ability to clearly distinguish a shoreline, quote unquote. Okay. Now, if I cut that in half and go to my observation at 5.8 miles, which is, roughly half of the 12 miles that we're looking at right now, but the red roof house is 5.8 odd miles away, I can show you clear demonstration that we are seeing the shoreline. It has to be where we're looking right now, but the resolution is not clear enough for us to see it with any distinction. But it can't be anything else. And the reason why, I don't think I actually published this. I made the video. I can't remember if I put it out or not. Anyway, one night, I think it was in September of last year, I caught an image on the shoreline, and I didn't know what it was. When I came back to it in the same video, I could clearly see that it was a boat. So then I camped out on that image. All of a sudden, brake lights turn on, and the boat leaves the water. Okay? So I know that right there at that spot, there's a dock, and there's a loading ramp. There's a boat ramp. So even though you can't see it clearly, you're looking straight down to where that boat is coming out of the water, and you watch it happen, but you can't see it clearly. So to then go out to this video, to this image that you have here now, double the distance, I have no problem because of what we understand water to be, shore to shore. It cannot exist on an angle. We're looking at the shoreline.
I used to tell this story, and when I grew up, we had bonfires. We were in Quebec, in Richmond, and over 20 miles away in New Brunswick, across the bay at a place called Jacket River, people would do the same thing. Thursday, Friday night, build up a bonfire, light it. Well, it's 20 miles away. We could see their bonfires. We could see the motorcycle, the little headlights on Can-Ams, and lights of trucks pulling down to the river, to the bay to back their boats into the water. We could see all that activity from 20 miles away. And there's supposed to be over 210 feet of curve, 100 feet of hump in front of us.
Yeah, we hear lots of stories like this.
Well, today.
Oh, sorry, Jimbo. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
I'm good, but it still exists today. That same spot, those 2 points, watching boat docks from 20 miles away. My old scoutmaster, 2 years I tried to, talk about flat Earth to him. One day I went to visit on a Saturday. He couldn't even speak because that's the morning he woke up and realized, I guess, the Earth was actually flat, and he went into a shock. But he's 100% flat since, because he realized that when he was bored, he'd sit out on his porch, take out his field glasses, and watch people in New Brunswick pull up to the Irving garage, which is maybe 20 feet above sea level, circle around the building, pull up to the pumps, gas up, pull away, get back on the highway, leave, boats go down, back up to the bay. All this 20 miles away, and he used to watch it every day. He was bored.
Yeah.
And it never dawned that it's flat. But after, a couple of years, and that block went away for him, and the shock set in, and, he
finally dawned on him, huh?
Admitted it. Yeah, later he's trying to explain it to his son John and his daughter Sarah, and, passing for the cuckoo now.
Oh, of course. But, back to this picture. So you can see that there is a mirage in here, too. And we did have a super chat from Esteban El Baca, says, how can you draw any conclusions or do any analysis with such an evident thick mirage in both pictures? There's nothing clear about this. Just go higher. And my response would be, and then Travis, you can respond. Yeah, we understand that. There's obviously a mirage in both of these. You can see both miraging in both. Agreed. I don't think we're saying that we can draw any conclusions, but it is evidence of what is happening on the horizon, quote unquote.
It's not. Yeah, you could say it's not physical. You're saying it has to be from optics.
Yeah.
Any change. You can definitely. That's not even a conclusion. That's what these pictures show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
an undisputed fact. We see one picture, a clear field, and in the other picture, it's obstructed, and it's not due to curvature. Bingo.
Can't be curvature. That's what we can draw out of this. Good point. Go ahead, Travis.
You're just seeing the. Oh, my bad.
That's all right. Yeah, I'll try to be brief, even though it's a little bit difficult for me to do that. But okay, so in the right image where the field is gone, the field is behind a mirage. That field is still there physically, in that same location. So if you could wipe that mirage away, there would be the field. Simply because in the left image you have a more acute mirage, that is, it's smaller, it's still covering distance. I think that what most people tend to think, and Istan might be of this mindset, people might think that mirage is vertical. It's not vertical. It's on the X. Hold on, just real quick, please. It's on the X-axis. That is, it is going along perspective. It is going into the distance. It's not straight up and down 90 degrees. Go ahead.
So the picture on the left is adequate and more representative of reality than the picture on the right.
No, incorrect. Both are 100% reality at that moment.
Oh, okay, I'll say it like this. The one on the left means Earth is flat, and the one on the right doesn't mean Earth is curved.
Okay, why did what?
Say that again.
Why did you? Yeah. Say that again, but don't switch your. No. Listen very carefully, please. Whichever one you say first, say that same thing on the next one. Go ahead and restate yourself.
No, it seems to me, from what I'm hearing, that you're giving validity to the image on the left, and you're disqualifying the image on the right.
No, that's incorrect.
Okay,
Can I try one sentence, Travis, with him? What we can conclude from this is obstruction of the field was due to not Earth curvature.
But how can you say that definitively?
Because we can see it on the left and we can't see it on the right.
Okay, so there again, you're saying the image on the left, it represents reality, and the image on the right doesn't.
No, we're not saying that.
You can't use the one on the left without the one on the right. So we're not.
Okay, here let's try a different example. Okay, if somebody says, if somebody makes a claim, let me just try an example with him, because he seems to be basically putting this together not in a logical fashion. If somebody makes the claim that no cars are blue, and you see a red car and a blue car, you can look at the blue car and know they're wrong, okay? You can look at the red car, you can see the blue car, it is blue. So their claim of there are no blue cars is incorrect. That's not giving more validity to the blue car than the red car. That's just showing that because the blue car exists at all in any way means their statement was wrong. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it comes down to interpretation of the data, and you have to be honest with yourself and remove any confirmation bias.
Yeah,
you know what he sees in his mind?
That's a good point, Mark. What do you think the honest interpretation of this particular data is in your mind, Mark?
He sees looming in his head, bro. Plain and simple. That's what he's going to tell you.
You can't trust what happens at the horizon because there's so many manifestations of it. The bottom line is that we were all taught that because you can't see the lower part of a boat at the horizon, it must be a curve. Well, that's been destroyed by a good body of work from Travis as well as from Ranty, and my own personal observations as well. You can't trust what happens at the horizon to say conclusively, you can't see the bottom of the boat, therefore it must be a curve. When you look at the horizon, you've got to remove any confirmation bias from yourself, to be truly honest.
Yeah, I like that too. Very well said. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, just real quick. Let me say again, when I first started this, I had no predisposed ideas about what I would see. None whatsoever. So when I was seeing these inferior mirages, I started out interpreting them much the same way that a baller would. I thought, well, I don't want to belabor the point, but I had to then, because I didn't have any predisposed ideas about what I was going to see, everything I saw was a new piece of data, and I had to contrast the image on the right with the image on the left, and go back to the image on the right and go back to the image on the left, and understand that the only reason why I can't see the far distant pasture on the right, the only thing that is there that isn't there on the left is the mirage.
All right. I've got a couple of pictures in Discord from B-Ball, and I'm going to open them. And let's get our thoughts on these ones. These are his examples of what he thinks is going on at the horizon. Take a look at this one. Obviously, what I see is some definite miraging here. And yes, you cannot see the bottom of that boat. I would agree with him on that. You can't see the bottom of that boat, but if I was going to put it in two buckets on here, I would put it into this bucket, the picture on the right, where the horizon is, there's proximal looming, or there's some atmospherics that are blocking our view of back there. How do I know that's not the case here? And on another day, I could see the bottom of that boat, and it'd be like the picture on the left. So which one is the natural state of the world, and how do you determine that?
Well, you've got to remove confirmation bias, haven't you?
You do. So, how do you do that, Mark? How do you remove confirmation bias?
Well, first of all, you've got to just understand that it's not all optics. There are other things that can cause the bottom of things to be blocked physically. The movement of water is the main thing. You've got to understand fluid dynamics. So when you're really, really low down, which that image is taken from a very, very low angle, You only need some slight movement in the water to create a localized hump that will block what you're trying to see in the distance. Only has to be a few centimeters, and it will block it.
Yeah, and you've talked about that at length, Ranty. That what is it called? Swells or
Yeah, well, you've got all sorts. You've got tides, you've got swells, you've got shoaling. Yeah, you've just got a whole bunch of things that are moving. The oceans move, lakes move, everything. The water isn't flat. Nobody, anybody that says that, it really irks me when especially when globers want to try and put you on flat water because, yeah, okay, over a great distance you can equalize it and say, on the whole it's flat. But when do you ever see water that's not moving?
Yeah, very seldom. Maybe in a controlled environment inside your house or something.
Bathtub, yeah.
Now, what's pretty cool about this image here is that sailboats in the Chesapeake Bay where I'm at, they have to follow a particular lane because the Chesapeake at certain points gets very shallow. And if you go to Google Earth, you can see the lane that all of the boats stay in on that side of the Chesapeake, and it is, I would say, a half a mile offshore. Okay, so that's all. He's all the way across.
How far is that, Travis? Oh, 5 miles. Okay.
Yeah, 5 miles. But this video that you're looking at right now is just the beginning of some stuff that I'm going to do with the same observation. So it's been pretty interesting and enjoyable for me to try to figure out how to say this stuff.
Oh, this is from your video, Travis. This picture that B-Ball's taken here.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
That sailboat, I'm just looking at it now, actually. The sail that you're looking at is a reflection of the sail. It's an inferior mirage that's covering the bottom of the boat.
Yep.
So what they're trying to say is, hey, can you see that what you're seeing on the left there is the sail, right? Okay, 2/3 of that is the sail, right? But the bottom of it isn't the sail. It's an inferior mirage of the sail. In fact, you can see the inferior mirage behind it on the grass. If you look behind that, you can see the inferior mirage running through the whole grass. So there's an inferior mirage going through that entire image. You can place it on the boat. It's exactly where the hull of the boat is. It's retarded to even consider this as an image, other than just saying that it's it's hidden by something. Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's hidden. So what?
Okay, so let me jump in real quick because I had to go to the door when you brought this image up. So did B-Ball? I didn't hear what his statement was, or did he just show you? Obviously, you didn't know this was mine. So what did he do? Just show you this and say, "Here you go"?
Yeah, he just linked it in the chat and said I put some images in the chat
without any context. He doesn't give you any context. So okay, so look, do you know what that boat is on the right? Do you know what that is?
Which boat on the right? This one right here, this little one that he's pasted in here or whatever?
Well, I'm kind of looking up at a broken image on Discord. Did you keep the screen up?
Yeah,
Discord's fucked up, sons.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not. It doesn't look right on Discord.
Well, here, let me share again, and then we'll fix it. But are you talking about the one that's pasted in there, Travis? That's next to the
right.
actual one? Yeah.
Right. So that's a PNG that Mark Doxey cropped out for me. But that's an actual sailboat that I took a picture of to use in this instance to show you. So in this video, I show you to scale. I put the cropped image, I scale to the same size of the sails as that sailboat and show you that it's impossible for the scale to be correct. And then what Ranty just said is exactly right, that the mirage is what is hiding the hull of the boat.
So B-Ball's doing a little bit of cherry picking, and yeah, it's obvious. If you look at what I did here, I just put a red line in where the miraging starts. I think it's pretty dang close. And you can see from that red line to what B-Ball thinks is the horizon or is guessing is the horizon is exactly the height of this boat that you've pasted in here. So, I mean, this is, we'd have to see your whole video to hear your whole analysis, but this is proof of
I
nothing.
just put it out today. I just put this video out today.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, he's all over you, man.
Okay, one of us is
Why
colorblind.
doesn't
That's a
D-Ball
white
come
lie.
in and explain what he thinks is going on?
I changed it to red. Yes. You're a few seconds behind, or maybe it's frozen.
All right, I'm away from the show for a minute.
No, but that threw me for a loop in the sensible debate when he says, "What color are you talking about?" I was like, "Green." Oh, I'm colorblind. I'm like, "Oh shit! How do I talk about this dang horizon that you're talking about then?" But I got a couple more pictures that people have linked in here, so this should be a fun one. It's B-Ball's agenda now, I guess, but we'll take a look at his pictures. He had a question that went along with this one. I'm giving you a lot of time here, B-Ball. Why are the bottom of the higher clouds illuminated, but the top of the lower clouds? Question mark. Oh, frickin' no. So these clouds aren't illuminated. These clouds are illuminated. Why? That's his question.
Can he tell us for sure he knows the heights of those clouds?
Yeah, how tall are these clouds? So is that sunset?
Yeah.
Are they in the... come on, man. Tell us what you think, B-Ball.
If he can tell us what the height were of each of those clouds, then we'll talk. But if it's just showing an image and saying, I think this cloud is higher than that cloud, and I'm going to make it that so, because that's my claim, that this cloud is higher than that cloud, and then we're going to talk about it. Well, all right. We'll prove that cloud is higher than the other one.
We don't know the height of the clouds. We don't know where the sun is. It's just...
But the obvious part, aren't the illuminated clouds obviously way higher than the shady clouds?
Are they?
Yeah, to me they are. I mean,
Well,
I can see.
how much is perspective impacting this? How close are these on the z-axis to us?
Gentlemen, this is the Sky Fallacy. What happens in the sky doesn't tell us anything about the shape of the Earth.
True that. True.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and try to interpret this either because we just don't know enough about what's going on there. But, okay, so here he's got a GIF that he's given. Somebody does. And unfortunately, I don't know how to make the GIF play.
Just hover over it, I think.
No, it opened it in preview.
It seemed to work then when you clicked it. That one, number 3, when you click number 3.
No, yeah, because I moved it forward, so I guess I can just move it forward like this. I'm too stupid to figure out how to play it. So there the plane goes. Oh, the plane goes behind the water.
Yep, behind the physical water that's moving, and you can tell that he is incredibly low down. I mean, he's probably just a few centimeters above the water right now, and you only need let's say a foot of swell of the water to cause a physical block. And anybody that denies swell just needs to go and have a look at a swell chart right now for a location. Pick a location, doesn't matter where you want to go, Florida, Australia, anywhere, Perth in Australia, anywhere, it doesn't really matter. Go anywhere and look for the swell report, and it will give you a swell height of the water. Now, it could be anywhere from just a few centimeters to probably around about 15 feet. So go ahead and look, and if you can provide the swell data on this day, give us the height of the observer as well, which I'm going to suggest is very low. Give us the swell data, and what you'll probably find is that he's looking over a physical blockage of water, moving water, swell. Well done, B-Ball. You are proving our point here.
Could be that. Could be the airport is physically depressed into the land. What's the altitude of the airport versus the body of water that he's looking over? Yeah, observer height. Is there a miraging? We can't tell because this is shitty pictures, right? We don't know what's going on here. Come on, man.
Can I ask a question?
People? Yeah, who was that? Who wanted to ask a question?
It's me, Chad.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Chad.
Yeah, what is that stuff behind the water?
Which
what is that?
Which stuff are you talking about?
That land that like goes all the way up to the top of the picture.
Oh yeah, it looks like this
That's
is a
land,
mountain,
isn't it?
Mountain or a volcano or something. Yeah.
I mean, if that plane is flying over an arc of water, what's the stuff behind that water? That shouldn't be there, should it?
Why not? We just talked about that. What do you mean?
All right, thanks.
I don't.
Well, somebody's claiming there's some kind of arc, aren't they?
Arc. The water. There might be a swell in the water.
Ball must arc. A ball must arc in every direction. So what am I looking at? I mean, what is this picture of?
Well, it's not a very good picture. First of all, I'll agree with you on that.
I mean, I see water and a plane, and somebody's claiming plane is going behind the water.
Yeah.
So what is the stuff behind the water? That's land, isn't it?
Yeah, that's land. Yep.
Okay. Thanks.
Uh-huh. All right.
At best, it's a two-dimensional image. It's not three-dimensional.
Yeah, this one's
The
not.
ballers like to think we see in 3D. I was arguing with that with them Friday, Saturday night, maybe.
It would be really nice if he came in here and addressed his claims himself.
Yeah, B-Ball, what are you doing, man?
He ain't scared to talk that shit in gems.
He's laughing. I think he's laughing because he gave us 3 dogs to look at, and we spent so much time on his meaningless pictures.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any cojones to come in the chat, I bet.
He gave us 3 images, well, or 3 things to discuss. One was saying that there was clouds that he could identify as being higher than the other, which he couldn't do. Another one was one with an inferior mirage in, and we all know that the inferior mirage hides things. And the third one was show and shoaling effect. You just can't make this crap up. Have they got anything to bring?
And he's bragging. He thinks
Say that would
he's
be
laughing.
0 for 3?
He's laughing in chat. He thinks he's gotten some kind of victory tonight.
I would call that 0 for 3, Brandon.
Yeah.
All they bring is they just bring garbage half the time. It's like, come on.
Right? All right. Well, let's move on. Where is this? Let me blow this out here. My debate with Mr. Sensible. There was an issue that came up near the end of the debate, the actual debate part of it, about being able to see a curved, I'm going to call it a horizon, but the limit of your vision, or the limit of your vision. Can we all agree? If you can see, if you're in a consistent medium, there'll be some limit that you can see around you. Like think of a fog bank. Think of being underwater. And that should be, if it's a consistent medium, the same distance away from you in all directions. So a 360. In other words, a sphere, if you want to talk about up and down, but let's just think in, straight ahead right now. A circle around you. Circle of sight. Does anybody disagree with that?
Absolutely not.
No. Okay.
If you can see an equal distance all around you, you're seeing in a circle. You can see a circle of area around you. Absolutely.
Right, but it would literally be the physical dimensions of it. If you could scale out that distance, if you could somehow pinpoint the spot and land, it would be a circle around you if you drew it out, if you were able to do that. Obviously, you're not, but if you were, it would be a consistent length away from you. Now,
yes,
my contention is that the further away from you look, the more turbidity, air pollution, water vapor, whatever, density in the air that you're looking through. So the further away from an observer, the more stuff they're looking through in the air. And at some point, you're going to have a limit of your sight. Like if you've ever been in a fog bank. Here, I've got some pictures for exactly, it's easier just to show you a picture of an actual fog bank. If I'm in a fog bank, there is going to be a limit to how far I see. That's why they list visibility when they give you the weather, right?
Some fog, your visibility is 0. You can't see your hand in front of your face.
That's true.
You can't see 10 feet with a flashlight.
In these examples of being in a fog bank, which are just fog pictures off the internet, you can do a search yourself and you can find a whole crap load of them. You can actually see some kind of, we'll call it a hardened edge, that is the limit of your visibility right out here. And what I believe this is a function of is the compression of the visual space. Let me restate it. The compression of physical space into the visual space as you go further away. Does that make sense, or did I lose anybody?
You've got it there. Even on the clearest of days, the atmosphere has some sort of opacity that ends, and you can't see any further than that.
It's like walking away from a theater screen. It gets smaller and smaller with every step, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you've got things going smaller and smaller, but you've also got an opacity that becomes invisible at some point. Even on the clearest of days, the atmosphere will create some sort of barrier to seeing.
The atmosphere is optically active. And, you know, like I say, different times of day, early, sometimes before things warm up too much, you'll have clearer views across water and stuff. And during the day with angles and refraction, polarization of light, increased heat and water vapor, you're going to get less quality visuals usually, depending.
Yep. You can see it.
I think Mark nailed it then when he said the opacity of the atmosphere, and it changes from day to day. I mean, what you were doing then, Brandon, when you were showing the fog, is you were basically saying, hey, look at the opacity of the atmosphere here. It's at 80%, right? So there's 80% opacity or whatever, so you can only see so far. And what Mark's saying is that essentially it is the same. It doesn't matter even if you think it's a really clear day. It could be bright sunshine out and you could think it's a really beautiful day, but you go down the beach, and trust me, when you go down the beach, quite often on a nice clear day, you won't be able to see that far. You'll maybe have a maximum of 15 miles of visibility, and then anything that you would normally see further than that isn't there. It's not as clear cut as just a nice clear day. So Mark's incredibly spot on there with the opacity of the atmosphere.
Exactly. And it doesn't matter how clear it looks. I totally agree with that. It can go anywhere from, as Jimbo said, can't see your hand in front of your face, to you can see a very, very long way as far as your, you can physically see, such as in this airplane. You see the same thing in an airplane. You can see near the horizon, the junction of the sky and the ground. You see it again here. This is kind of similar to what you get with fog, right? Here's some more fog pictures. So I think it's pretty well established that is how it presents itself. That limit of vision. Here's one. You can still see another a line here. So there's a limit to your vision. Now, what this is a function of, as you're looking away from yourself, it is going to have a multiplying effect. The amount of space, the amount of physical space, is going to shrink into shorter and shorter visual space. So this space right here, this is from Mr. Sensible's video, his Mage 2. This is the bottom of the frame. Don't go with these exact numbers. Let's just go with an example, because he didn't even know when his camera is horizontal. This space right here is 152 kilometers, right? To this line right here from the camera back. This next section right here is another 152. This next section out here is another 300 and takes it to 600. Then 1216 to this next section, 2432, 4864. And you can see how it rapidly, by the time you get up here, just a hair's breadth is going to be a ginormous distance.
Yeah, you could have thousands of kilometers inside of a millimeters.
Exactly. So imagine all of that atmosphere compressed. Let's take a look here. This is kind of the same pattern here, right? This first space away from you is going to be this much atmosphere. This is the same amount of atmosphere in half the space, same in half the space, same in half the space, same in half the space, right? On and on. So by the time you get a real long distance from you, like as far as you can see, it's going to consolidate into what is going to appear to you to be a hard line or a very distinct line on the horizon.
Correct.
Okay. Does anybody have any problem with what I just said so far? I'd love to hear it. I'm not saying I want to argue with anybody. I'd love to hear it.
Rumpus does. He introduces looming.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different.
Can I try something here?
Yeah.
No. I keep saying that the amount of water vapor varies drastically with air temperature, and I have a little graphic that I can post, and you can show it if you want. I hope you would. But it describes the amount of water that a cubic meter of air holds at different temperatures, including a cold winter day, room temperature, and 90 degrees. And, and that's just going up to 90 degrees. Now, when you see as air temperature changes even a few degrees, it can hold massively more water. Now, it doesn't take long for your temperature over a lake and stuff during the morning to start rising pretty quick and stuff. But let me take 1 second to post this graphic, and you'll see that, a lot of this visual occlusion and stuff and this so-called optical activity is dependent on the temperature of the air and the water concentrations that are in it and these differentials.
Sure.
Let me post it and...
All right, let me continue here, and I'll bring that up in a minute once you get it posted. All right, so here's that same thing looking through the atmosphere. Now, here's from our first point of view, looking away from us. On the ground, you're going to see this at this angle, right? This is about the angle you'd see it. You're going to see that descending distance up to the horizon, and you'd see this hard line horizon, which would be that consolidated atmosphere. You don't see much curve in this one, right? Because it's so slight. Even though that circle of sight is circular, you're not going to see, you won't be able to detect it with your eyes. You may not even be able to detect it with a camera because it's so freaking slight, that circle of sight. As you go higher and higher, and these spread out, and your vantage point is the angle is changing, and you're looking down, you're going to see further, and each of these sections is going to open up for you. It's just a matter of the angle. So think of it as a triangle opening up. Huh?
Are you showing this on Discord, or we're still looking at the black and gray squares?
I should be showing it on Discord.
Yeah, all I see are black and gray the columns that you had before.
Okay, hold on a minute. Damn it. I was using the same presentation. It is black and gray columns.
Oh, is that the same one? Oh, okay. Okay. I thought.
My bad.
That's all right.
Whose image is this?
This is my image.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're looking out, then it opens up. So this horizon, this hard line, would look curved. You would see it curved more as you got up. That doesn't mean that the Earth curved. That means that this circle of sight around you and this limit to your vision, which is actually curved in physical reality, would start to present itself to you as the circle it is. You would detect that it's a circle.
Absolutely. We know that's the case. We're
All right.
about to show it right now, I'm guessing.
Yeah, so I went out and I did a little firsthand proof of concept on this, and I made a 50 foot roughly diameter circle in a local park, right? And I took about some stakes. They're about, 6 feet away from each other or whatnot. Measured them out very carefully, made sure they were all exact same from the radius of the camera, and took pictures at different heights in the center at the center of the circle. And every single time, no matter which direction I looked, I could see that it was a circle. It didn't flat out to not a circle.
You could see the horizon. If that was your horizon bait, essentially, you could see it curving.
If that was your horizon, your the limit to your sight, like we just went through and discussed, and it was circular, you would see a circle.
See the horizon curving. At the same time you were doing this, I did it with a hula hoop in my bedroom at home.
So you don't need curvature. Seeing a curve in an image from a high altitude or any altitude, even these low ones where they compress what they think is the Earth curve horizon, the geometric horizon, just because you see a curve doesn't mean that you live on a ball. Otherwise, I could just take those fog photos and compress those and say, see, there's curve there. That means we live on a ball.
Yeah, we have to separate spherical curve from curve because a dinner plate is curved, but a ball is spherically curved.
Well, that's true too. That's a whole different thing we can talk about. But you can see how the curve gets more noticeable at the higher up. You can just notice in these 5 pictures. This is at 28 inches, 38 inches, 50 inches, 61 inches, 82 inches. So that's it. That's what I wanted to go through with you guys. Any thoughts or feedback, disagreements, anything on that?
I mean, you got it spot on. Just if we see the horizon curving as you go up, that's what we would expect to see on a flat plane. As we went up from a flat, if we were over a flat surface and we go up and you can see the same distance in all directions, you would expect to see it curving. Going up and seeing a curve doesn't mean it's a spherical Earth.
Exactly. And on a flat plane, I would expect to see something exactly like what Mr. Sensible has captured in his mage imagery. And if you look at this photo carefully, like down here, this looks fucking flat to me. This looks flat. Here the sun is up above this. This is a long ways away. The sun is beating down. You can see the circle of the sun. And then you see the circle of the sun fade, and you see the absolute limit that you can see in here. And that's what these outer rings are. This is just the circle of the sun.
So I said this before, but if you go back to what you said about the fog, so look above the last red line, above the 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so right above that last red line is white. Imagine that what's above that is the fog.
Yeah, right here, right? This stuff right here.
Yeah, so what you would understand is that, and this is what I've said on my show, okay, so now look from 2 to 3. From 2 to 3, you're just looking over the land according to perspective. It's still going away. 3 to 4, the land is still going away. It's just perspective. 5, 4 to 5, then 5 and on. Then when you get to the fog bank, the Earth isn't all of a sudden curving down. You could still number it out there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way out. It's just that at that point, you've got the opacity, turbidity, activity, whatever you want, that obstructs looking into the distance.
Yeah.
Dare I say optical activity?
Definitely some optical activity going on here.
Yeah, and then Mr. Sensible during the debate was trying to say that if you went up off a flat plane, it would always appear flat. And a lot of them were saying it in gems too, that it would never appear curved. Some of them did admit it might appear curved. But here's essentially the proof that the horizon would appear curved.
Well, their contention is that you would have a circle of sight, you would have a limit of visibility, just like a fog bank, but that it would not appear to curve to you.
Yeah, but it would. I mean, your demonstration proved that it should appear to curve.
I think it's definitely evident. There's plenty of evidence that it would, in my opinion. So I don't know how they can look at this mage stuff and rule out that it's a flat plane. I think that is confirmation bias, as Mark would say. But anyway, that's it for that, unless anybody's got any other questions. Helvetica Bull just became a channel member. Well, welcome to Shrimp, Helvetica Bull. Thanks. Anything else on this, guys?
No, I just want to point. Go ahead, Jared.
Go ahead, Jared. No, you go ahead.
Well, I mean, I just want to point out when the Globers say this can't happen on a flat Earth, they're dead wrong almost all the time, because we just pointed out that Mr. Sensible was dead wrong when he said it couldn't appear curved, because Brandon stakes in the ground. I did it with a hula hoop. Anyone can do this at home. Make a circle of objects around a center point, put the camera in the center point, and start raising the camera up. And you'll notice that if those objects were the limit of your vision, that it would appear to get curved. The horizon would appear curved. It's just a fact. Like it's nothing to even debate about. It would appear curved.
Go ahead, Travis.
It's just something that I've been trying to think through, and what today's video is the first step in talking about this stuff on my channel. And if so, it's all abstract in my mind, and even as a discussion, right? So looming is looming is looking out into the distance and seeing a horizon, okay? And not seeing anything past that horizon. Then on another observation, seeing something that wasn't there before, and you know that it was farther away because it's stationary, and before, in the images before, it wasn't there. So you have to be looking farther away. But you're not seeing the same observation because you're seeing a distant object that wasn't visible before. So if you go to the day before when you can't see that object, but you have a hard horizon, what in their model happens is, this is the way I picture it. So if you have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper in front of you, and you simply bow it a little bit so that there is an arc. So whatever that object is on the other side of the arc, whatever the scale is, I don't care. But you can't see that object because of the arc. But what looming does is you let go of the piece of paper and it just flattens out. But all you're seeing is into the distance now. So does that make any sense? I know it's abstract. I'm just been trying to think through it.
I'm not sure. I'm trying to picture what you're.
Yeah, I know it's very abstract. So the only reason why it's flattening the curve. So if you have the bowed piece of paper in front of you and you raise it up so that you can't see an object behind it, the only way you can see that object is to remove the curve. If you're not going to change your elevation, that's what I'm saying, right? So if you're making the same observation from the same location, you can't physically flatten the curve. But the only way to see over that hump in the piece of paper is to let go of the edges so that it lays flat.
Yeah, right. Well, so what about the objects behind? Can't they kind of?
Well, but see, that's where what we're talking about with my photos is that the entire field of view is three-dimensional, and it is all affected at different distances and at different heights by the medium. So the way that if you want to bring up my picture from before, the first one that you showed.
Yeah, let me find that. Jimbo, I haven't forgotten about your stuff. Did you get it out there? We'll go back to you after this.
Yeah, it's posted in general.
Okay, let me bring that back up. I might have closed it. 1 second here. That was in the IMs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Sorry, I shouldn't have closed it. There we go. You guys see it?
Okay. It looked like you were bringing it into view and then it dropped out, or it didn't go in all the way. Hold on, let me refresh my video part.
Here, I'll just refresh it here.
Okay,
too.
there it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I got it. Okay. So let's just take it for granted in the left that we're looking into the distance and that is the shoreline. Okay, let's just for argument's sake. The left image, that green patch in the distance, that is the shoreline. Okay? Now, in the image on the right, we can't see the shoreline. So this is what I would like to try to do to see if we could reproduce it. In the image on the right, we have proximate looming in the foreground. That is, the medium is ramping up the water. It's raising it up. So that would be the first lens that you set up, like the Fresnel lens or whatever it was that Rob Skiba used. He set up a lens and then moved the image behind it, and you could see it getting cut off, right? Got it? So you have a first lens that creates the image of the foreground. But then in the distance you have a different effect going on, so you have to introduce another lens that would then create that right, that would then create that magnification that would draw in the distant land and compress it with the image in front of it. So you have both of those things going on at the same time.
Yeah, that's a lot going on to make a ball look perfectly flat. There is a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, because if you just look at the image of the trees on the right, they're smaller. You can see the trunks a bit on the left, but then on the right, those trees are much bigger and the trunks are very prominent.
Yeah, you can definitely see a difference.
So then, like, what would you scale that pasture to be? Let's say, for instance, that was the shoreline up to the trees. What's that distance? 200 yards?
Oh boy, it's tough to tell, but it looks big. Yeah, it looks something like that.
It looks about 100 yards to me. It looks like an acre.
Yeah, whatever.
Acre and a half.
Anyway, that to me, that was something that I've been thinking about. You would have to have two different lenses going on, combine those together somehow to create this. And then, okay, I'm not even talking about the inferior mirage, right? I'm just talking about two different aspects of magnification. First, the image on the right, it looks like you guys already said, right? It looks like I've dropped my viewing point down and I'm closer to the water. So that water has been magnified up and brought closer to me, proximate looming. And then past the horizon, that tree line in the back has been magnified and brought closer to me. And when that happens, you cut off the bottom.
Well, you mentioned something too, and it's a sort of topographic thing. You're on the Chesapeake Bay, right? Is it elliptical, tear-shaped bay? It's shallow with a few deeper spots, or one area that's deeper than the rest, right?
I don't know what you mean by elliptical, but if you look at it from... no, it's not. No.
Okay. But it is shallow with a deeper point or several deep spots?
Well, I don't know where, I don't know the topography of the area where I'm at, but basically, hold on just real quick. Basically, the sailboats stay within proximity of the shoreline. They don't cut across the middle.
Maybe there's things in the water that would hit their keel and stuff around the middle. There's no buoys or anything? Yeah. See, shallow water will warm up faster than the deeper water areas too. So if there's a large bank under the water that's shallow, it'll heat up faster than deeper water and create a different density near the shore as opposed to, well, in front of it.
Sure. Well, that would be interesting, right? Okay.
Mirroring effects or, two different lensing effects from the same vantage point.
Sure,
It makes perfect
sure.
sense.
So if we take a temperature reading of the water on my shoreline at 30 feet, and then in the middle of the bay it gets as shallow as 6, well, that shallow water is going to be warmer, but then you've got that whole different gradient from shoreline to that point, and then from that point to the next shoreline. You've got different depths that are going to have different temperatures hitting the air. But yeah,
it is
but
pretty
to me,
shallow
I don't-
overall. It's 24% is only 6 feet, average depth of 21 feet, and the deepest is 175 feet. So I was looking for a I don't know what they're called with lakes, a topography map, but I couldn't find one. Let me see, this might be one. Oh yeah.
But there's tons of tributaries and finger, extensions. And it's just like this. It looks like a tree. It looks like a root, a root system.
Yeah, this isn't the greatest picture, but yeah, it's pretty shallow around all of the shores.
And the deeper
deep
water
in the middle
is colder.
Yeah, there's definitely some temperature differences across these bodies of water. I think that's a good point, what you're saying about multiple lenses. There's a bunch of stuff going on.
That's why there's so much variation in every photo. It don't matter from the Chesapeake or if I went down to Britannia Bay to do a 6-mile shot here or 14-mile shot. Same air, the same. If it was pure here, it would be pure there. We'd have the same beautiful photos with nice sharp, shorelines and stuff. But again, I keep going back to optical activity and
Yep. Did you cut off there, Jimbo, or was that me? Hello. Anybody hear me? I think I must have lost my connection. Let me disconnect real quick. Yep. It just dropped me. This is the only thing about Discord. It's very touchy. There we go. Come on. Wow, no route. What the heck does that mean? I'll mute myself in case they can hear me. Crazy. No, I haven't very much luck with electronics today. Sorry about that. Let's see. Try it again. There we go. Okay, can you guys hear me?
we hear you fine. You got me.
Yeah, just dropped me for some reason. But anyway, Jimbo, you had something you were going to share.
Yeah, I put it in the general, and it's basically a little graphic that shows the amount of mass of water that a cubic meter of air can hold at the different temperatures that, well, some of us are used to, with winters to summer. But basically, the amount of water is dramatic, how much the air can hold over a very small temperature range. But if you pop it up, the graphics, you'll see when it's a cold winter day, -4 degrees, I think there's about 1.6 grams a cubic meter can hold. But on a nice hot summer day at 90 degrees, it'll hold 38 grams. That is quite the difference. That's not my graphic.
Yeah, I brought up the wrong one first. I found it. Comparison of saturated vapor density at different temperatures.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay. So air temperature 90 degrees, 34.4 grams per cubic meter, which seems like a lot. I'm trying to visualize how much that
maybe
is.
Possibly instead of that floaty water level I see. I'm not sure. Maybe I'd go to the web and see you with the actual graphics up. Maybe I see pink fluid and 4 cylinders there. There we go. Thank
Hold
you.
on your fucking shorts, Jimbo.
Jimbo
Sorry.
That's all right.
Jimbo was roboting really bad for me. Anybody else?
Yeah, it was you, Jimbo. No, it was me. It was frozen. Okay, so 90 degrees, 34.4 cubic centimeters or cubic grams per cubic meter to 1.7. That's a huge difference, right?
Mic check, mic check. What's going on, Brandon? What's going on, everybody?
What's up, Matrix?
Hey, Matrix.
And that's not even covering the scale to when it gets to 100, 104, 105 degrees like we get some days here. And it's really humid. It feels like 100% humidity. It's dreadful. But even at 90 degrees with that much water in the air, you feel the weight of the air when it's hot and muggy. And like I say, it adds mass to the air. It is the source of the pressure.
Yeah, and I wonder how much the temperature changes. I don't go out on the water much. So I don't know from the shore to say the middle of the lake. What is the air temperature difference?
Look from dawn when it's coldest to noon, it'll change sometimes 30 degrees some places.
No, but I
And
mean
that's
like
even
at the same time. Let's say it's noon. One person's on the shore, one person's in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. Is it going to be a 5-degree difference? Is it going to be a 30-degree difference?
It'll be cooler in the middle of the lake than on the shore because of the evaporation of the water. So people on the shore will be warmer than the people over the water.
All right. And on shore, yeah, absolutely. So the air is much more saturated over the lake than on the shore anyway. So you're looking from a lower saturation point on the shore through the highest saturation point over the water to another area of lower saturation on the other shore.
Pretty much.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that is a lot of water. And again, your temperatures vary all day. Like from the dawn, it usually starts to warm up during the day. You start off a bit cool and then it's warm by lunch or whatever. Down south, we'd have to, sometimes put on the heater on in the truck in the morning driving to work. And then by 10 o'clock, you got to put on the AC.
Yeah.
Because you're freezing in the morning. Literally, your pipes can burst. And then a few hours later, you're baking in the sun. You can't take it. Some places not that dramatic, but the same idea applies.
Sure.
Even if it's not 40 degrees difference, even if it's 20 or 10 or 15, it'll still apply.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that's got to be taken into account. That's why we're always talking about looking down the visual corridor and taking data is important. Yeah, good point, Jimbo. Flat Fellow put this in the chat. This is not the most high resolution picture, but it's from Mr. Sensible's video at the 2-minute 11-second mark. And the only thing I don't know that Flat Fellow is which camera this is. If this is the main camera, well, we know that the Earth's not curving that much.
Color camera. It's from Fisher Price. It's a color camera.
Could be. All right, so there's that. Oh, okay. Cool. Anything else on that? Let me see what else is going on. Who do we have in the chat? Howard, what do you think about all that? Do you think that the visual limit will create a circle of sight around us and that we would be able to see it? Or do you think?
I have no idea, Brandon. I really don't.
No? Fair enough. What do you think, Matrix? Were you listening? Jay? No? Anybody else? Allie, what do you think?
Oh, I think Matrix was talking there. On you go, mate. Did he?
I don't.
No, I thought I heard him.
I don't think.
Yeah. Regarding
Nah,
that,
I
if
wasn't
you-
talking, Ali. Go ahead.
Well, we asked you first. On you go, Matrix. Go on, you're just here, so I've talked.
I mean, if we could see in all directions the same distance, it'd be a circle, right? No one's
Sorry, Jeremy. I was just going to say then, if you look at his, if you take a look at his that picture that you showed, Brandon, right? Even that bit of string that you did. Now, if you imagine that was, if you continued his circle, if you actually followed his curve, and you actually continued that circle, right, and continued that circle around and drew a circle, right? It was behind the camera. Now, if you imagine that you swing that camera around and turn 180 degrees, you're not going to be able, at that curve there, that your horizon is going to be way below your feet. You're looking at, if that was truly curve and not what you're talking about, that circle of, yeah. Now, if you, as I say, imagine now that you swung that round, you actually drew just a curved line, then imagine that swung round exactly 90 degrees. That would have to, if it wasn't if it was a ball, right? Make it into a ball, actually. Can you do that? Make that into a ball, but keeping to the curve of that horizon. Can you do that, Brandon?
I think so. Let me try.
Yeah, and there you go. Right. If you can now.
Might be a little
Now,
too
if
big.
you imagine
but I'll
that,
try.
I know it's. Oh, no. Well, it's supposed to be an oblate spheroid anyway, so that'll do.
All right. Let me see.
Right, something like that. Now, imagine now if say if that curve was level. Now imagine that camera, you swung that camera and started panning round at 180 degrees. You wouldn't be able to see that the other side of the ball would be way below your feet. Do you get what I'm saying? Because the only way that's going to be a ball is if you're actually below, actually looking from side on and not actually sitting on top of the ball. To get that view, you would have to be looking across the way. You get what I'm saying?
Brandon, that circle is supposed to represent the circle of your vision of the eye, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying if that curve's there that much in front of you there, right? Imagine that you're turning around. You won't be seeing a complete circle. You can't see that because the ground must be going because you can see that curve there. That line that you're seeing on the right hand side, as you go around, it'll have to get lower and lower. So it'll be double the length down. So your horizon should be, for example, maybe a centimetre lower, and then you turn around again, it'd be way. Nah, I'm not explaining it right.
Are you talking about the peripheral vision, like the visions that we see on the side that we don't quite see?
Right.
Is that what
See,
you're trying to
right.
describe?
Right. Imagine, right. So they're saying we're looking at a ball there, right? And they're saying that's the beginning of the curve. They can say they see the curve. Well, if you use that curve and continue it round till it's a circle, right? And then imagine now that you're actually going to spin round at 90 degrees exactly there. You're going to keep a straight line. That horizon there must keep going lower and lower and lower until you're 180 degrees. It can't ever stay like that vision. It can't look like that all the way around. That's impossible, because they're saying that's curving down, and curving down is going down the way, not towards you. As I say, because it's a circle we're looking at. I'm not explaining it properly.
So I'm kind of getting, I wasn't clear on your question earlier, Brandon. Are you saying like if I was just standing on a platform out in the middle of the ocean, can't see anything but ocean around?
Yeah, like if you were on this boat, say, yeah.
And you look 360 degrees around you, you wouldn't see any change. Be a circle around you.
You wouldn't see any what? Sorry, I missed what you said there.
Any change, no elevation, no drop, no curve.
No.
You wouldn't see that just looking at a 360 degree around you.
All right, I've got it. I've got it, Brandon.
No,
right, go back to
Howard.
that picture. Brandon, go back to that picture, please. I've got a better way to explain it now.
Okay, all right.
Go back. Right. Keep that in there. Now draw a straight line across the very peak. You know where the peak of the hump is. Draw a line that's a tangent to that point, so it's like straight across the page, from end to end.
All right, let me do that.
Yeah, now that's much better. Yeah, I can see it happening now.
All right, I'll make it a different color for you. What do you want? Green, red? Red. We'll go with
Or
red.
anything at all. Yeah, red for danger.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Right, but on the white bit only, just the white bit.
Oh, on the circle that I made. You're talking about like right here?
Yep, exactly. That white bit. Make it thicker if you can, because it'll be better if it's thicker.
Sure.
Stick a nice thick line on there, and just continue it right off the page like you done the circle.
Okay. I'll take it over here, and we'll take it this way a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's 0 degrees. Yep.
Are you in there?
Yep. Now let me just get it a little closer to the circle here. There you go. Now it's a tangent.
Right. Right, that's it. Now that red line that goes out there. Now imagine that camera is going to stay exactly with it in line. That's going to keep level with that white line there. Now, if you pan across and go out and follow that red line and then follow that circle, and I mean that's only a little circle. Look how much lower it is. It'll be lower at that point. Can you see that?
Yeah.
If you pan that around at 90 degrees, that's getting lower and lower. So, and that's just, so you can imagine now you're at 90 degrees, it's going to be even lower. You go 180, that's going to be lower because they're saying that's curving down and not towards you. So if it's curving down, can you see, am I explaining
so it would
right?
go like down this way, down. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it has to because of the fact is, if they say that's curving down the way, it's not curving across the way, it's curving down. So you can see you've got the top end of that ellipse there's almost like that. So you can imagine that if you panned that screen across and kept it totally level in line with that red line, kept that red line center, you would see that horizon drop further down. You go 90 degrees, it'll be even further down. Just imagine how much further down it'll keep going, and you've turned 180 degrees, how much of that, the planet you would see. So it's like, it's backing up what you're saying we're actually seeing in a circle. That's almost like a circle. That's the sides curving in towards us as if you were looking down in a circle.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. It's hard for me to visualize in my head what this should look like on a sphere compared to what it would look like on a circle, because I just imagined it would be a circle. But I think that
it would look exactly like what it looks like when it spins around, but it shouldn't look like that on a sphere.
Right.
Because that has to drop away. It has to keep dropping away further because you're getting further. It can't ever stay the same height and drop like that. Otherwise, it would look like it would drop and then rise again, and then drop and rise again, like little humps, like that all the way around. So that has to, by logic, and you can see that it has to, the horizon must drop further and further and further below you. So when you see the full circles of 90 degrees, that shouldn't happen on a ball. You're seeing exactly what you should see in a flat earth.
Okay.
Can you get what I'm saying? Look, if you look at the difference in height from the middle to the very end of that ellipse, there's your drop in horizon. You understand?
Yeah.
That you would be looking 90 degrees to see that point there. You would have to flip that, and you would look at that 90 degrees, and that would have to be lower down, because that red line's telling you where the center of the camera is, and it's lower down there than it is in the middle of the photograph. Can you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you wouldn't see anything right here. That's what you're saying. You wouldn't see anything.
Yeah, exactly. If you moved that photograph along the way, right, just moved it along to your left and kept that ellipsoid there, you could see how much of a drop you should see, right? So it'd be the same as you turning round to the left. You would see that drop exactly like that.
I'll have to go back and watch it again and see if I can notice anything.
I'm not good at explaining it. But it's once you get it, you'll see what I mean. It's impossible to be seen. To me, that's what I would expect to see if it was flat, not if it was curved, because you see the 360, it spins around 360, all these balloons, and the horizon's always at the same height, and it can't be. If that's a still photograph and that's curving downwards, it's impossible for it to be the same height because it's curving downwards.
Well, one thing that kills me is I don't know why they didn't put some kind of gyro compass on here so that they knew when the camera was level and which direction they're looking in. But with the sun, which by the sun, the sun is like right up here looking this way. We know where the sun should be, and I don't know the exact day that he took this, unfortunately. I guessed it was near the day that he put out the Mage 2 footage, or his first video from it. The sun would be way down here in October. Maybe he did it a little before, so it wouldn't be that far down, but it'd still be way over here. But in this footage, just visually, the sun looks like it's right there. Right over here. It looks like it's right above the earth.
Yeah. There was another thing as well, Brandon, about when you said, and you paused. I thought, all right, you say something, but it kind of moved on. Is the point he said, if you go back and listen to it, he said, he says it only landed 750 meters away from us. And then that was early on in your wee discussion. But later on, I think he mentioned some miles or something. But at first, he said because you asked where did it come down and whatever, and then the conversation went on to something else. But he said 750 meters. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure we're meant to be spinning, maybe in Britain, about 400 miles an hour. So that would mean that would be about 1,200 miles out off target. It should have been, and I was wondering how they would explain that if that's going to drop. That was 3 hours, that balloon. Sorry?
That would only happen if the atmosphere wasn't moving.
No, but that would be
saying you would get Coriolis.
Wait a minute. But that would be saying that the atmosphere would be pushing the balloon, right? Is that what you're saying?
No, just moving with.
Well, how can it move with the How can it move with the atmosphere? There's no atmosphere. In this picture right here, it's 0% or 0.05 atmospheres.
Well, I don't know. That would be a more technical question.
Okay.
Also, you would get Coriolis. You would get Coriolis just from going up and down. You should see Coriolis.
Yeah, but dude, listen. Let's get something straight about this Coriolis, right? SE's Montreal's totally right. It's an apparent, right? And I got Bob the science guy, right? Just imagine this, Jeremy. You've got to think of this, right? If I shot a bullet, right, and I see it curving, I say, "Oh, look, it's curving, right? Oh, look, that's Coriolis, right?" But to an observer that was watching me shoot that bullet and watching that bullet, he would clearly see that bullet is going straight. So it doesn't curve. In reality, the bullet does not deviate from its direction. And what they added, wait a minute, listen to me. I'll tell you what happened with this Coriolis thing. What they did is then they started going on about conservation of momentum, right? And you can ask them a simple question and say, well, that's why they say about this Coriolis effect, and that's why they'll say about this balloon. They'll explain this about the balloon. It'll be conservation of, or like what they're saying, the atmosphere is moving the balloon, right? But if that balloon was out of that, so the only thing that could possibly be affected by, because it's not ballistic, it's not shot from a barrel of a gun or anything like they say, so that would float up there. So the only thing that could influence that would be wind, and that's all. And to suggest that that because they got the 800 mile an hour push off, that once they've the minute they've left that input of energy, right, that input of momentum, they get slower and slower. There is no conservation of energy. For to have that, you need to have an input of energy, but you haven't, because you've just left the earth, right? So you're slowing down. Wait a minute, you're slowing down all the time. And then plus you've got to take into the drag factor and winds. So you should have ended up at least, it should have been hundreds of miles away, man. Not 20 or 70 or 750 meters. Right.
First of all, when they say conservation momentum, they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know, and that's the point I'm making. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't
hold on. Let Howard get in here, because he was going back and forth, and he's the only baller.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. If it had a lateral motion, with the Earth, why would it lose it? Tell me what happened.
Right? Okay. If I grab a ball, right? Listen. If I grab a ball and I throw it, right? It's got momentum, right? But it's losing as soon as it leaves my hand. As soon as it leaves my hand, it's lost that energy. So it's got that momentum, and that momentum runs out. It doesn't go. A ball doesn't go forever when you throw it, right?
Oh,
So for that to carry on, if that carried on, then it would have. You could describe it as having it's got conservation or momentum, but it would have to be certain circumstances that ball would have to be in for it to have that conservation or momentum. Otherwise, it loses it and it'll slow down. The same as a balloon.
Yeah,
Exactly that. That's physics. That's physics for dummies, man. A dummy knows that.
Take it into outer space and throw it and see what it does.
Yeah, but it's not. It's going up in the atmosphere at first, though. Right? So it's
Wait. Howard just said take it up to outer space and throw it.
Can he please tell us how would he know that even if we do take it to space, that it will work? What is he basing that on?
Hold on, I need to address. Let me just address something that got said, because you guys are a little confused with this apparent deviation thing. It's only apparent if you're viewing it from the inertial reference frame, which is the non-rotating reference frame. To the person on the rotating reference frame, it's not an apparent deviation. It's a very real deviation.
But it wouldn't be the Coriolis to the person on the inertial reference frame.
No, it is.
But listen. That's fine what you're saying, but the reality is, it is not curving, right? That's the reality. It's not curving.
It's not. The Coriolis effect is somebody observing.
Exactly.
If you're in the inertial reference frame, it isn't. You're not observing Coriolis. Then you're talking about two different scenarios.
No, yes, you are observing it in the spinning reference frame. You are. You can see the deviation.
Bro, we went through this. Remember when we said plot the coordinates that the ball traveled, and it will be its set travel coordinates, and no matter how you observe it, it'll always have those set coordinates. Now here you are saying it deviates, which is a change in the coordinates.
And he's also like he doesn't understand that for it to be Coriolis, you need to see it from outside. If you're in the inertial reference frame, you're not going to experience Coriolis. It's two different experiences. Do you not?
You are going to experience it, because if you go on a roundabout and throw the ball straight, you can see that the ball's not going in a straight line according to the rotating body underneath it. You absolutely do observe it.
Is the Coriolis doing the Coriolis or observing it?
Jeremy, I can sort this out for you, right? Here's a great video for you to go and watch. Google inertial reference frames, right? You'll see this all black and white. These two professor guys, you might have seen it, these two guys, and they go through, it's an old video, they actually go through and they explain what reference frames are, and they'll explain what inertial reference frames, and then you'll understand, then you'll get it.
Very well versed in this, and I understand.
No, but you're right, but listen. Can I just one say, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the thing is, it looks like it from the guy that's just fired the bullet, it looks like it's curving, right? But see someone out with that and observing that, in reality, that bullet is not moving, it's on a straight trajectory.
In reality, in the inertial reference frame, it's not. It's going.
Yeah, but listen. Yeah, stop that. Yeah, but this is the point, though. Like, dude, when you start talking about these reference frames, you're going out of reality, because the reality is that bullet doesn't move. But yes, of course, from that reference frame, it looks as if it curves. It appears to, but in reality, it doesn't. So the reality is that it is just an optical effect, right? It's an apparent. It doesn't happen. It doesn't move. It doesn't deviate, right? It's only apparent.
No, to the people on the rotating body.
Okay, forget it. Like, we'll drop the subject and we'll agree to disagree, because this will go nowhere.
Hold on a minute. I think there's an interesting distinction to be made here. So I understand what you're saying, Jeremy, is that the people that are on the spinning reference frame, to them, the ball would appear to be curving. The ball in reality In reality, like its physical momentum is not curving. It is going straight. It's going straight. It just looks like it's curving to these people because they're spinning. They are the ones that are actually spinning. And if you use their coordinate system and the coordinate system spins with them, then you say, well, yep, according to this coordinate system on this reference frame, that ball curved. But in reality, the ball went straight.
Yes, I'm not doubting that the ball goes straight. In reality, the ball is going straight, but since you're spinning underneath them, the deviation from the Coriolis effect is very real, and you can see it on a roundabout. You're throwing the ball straight, and it's not going straight at your boy across on the other side of the roundabout because
there's no deviation.
Because
because their deviation is a change in course.
This is just a semantic
throw the ball
argument.
straight?
It's really just a semantic argument from both sides. I think we're all agreeing that the ball goes straight. Jeremy, you agree that the ball is traveling in a straight line?
Yes, the ball goes in a straight line. Yes, we all know this, but the deviation that happens from the people on the rotating reference frame, that's a real deviation. That really happened.
The word that is tripping people up
happen.
is the word deviation. You're saying deviation. There is no deviation technically. There's only the way that the ball traveling straight appears to the people that are on the spinning reference frame. The ball didn't deviate. They deviated.
Yeah.
The only thing that seems to deviate is how you interpret it in your mind.
Yeah, it is. We're saying the same thing, Jeremy. I think you're saying the same exact thing, and some people get caught up on these words, but
there would be deviation. If you're on a roundabout, the deviation's real. You can see it. You can't throw the ball. You know what I mean? The deviation's real. Whether it's the ball or the people moving, whatever. There's deviation there.
There's no deviation.
Yeah, but reality.
It's change. There's no
but
deviation
reality
from a course.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I can throw a ball straight
reality
and it
is-
deviates.
Oh, sorry.
Reality,
We
when
are
I throw the-
lag.
Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry. On you go.
When you throw the ball straight, it doesn't go straight. Is it deviating or no?
No, it goes straight. You're only interpreting it because you're outside of the inertial reference frame.
Because you're moving. Moving does not change the course of the ball. So there's no deviation. Deviation is if I'm running straight and I start moving a little bit to the right, that's deviating off that straight course. That doesn't happen. You're using the wrong word.
Well, we can tell when the Coriolis has happened because there would be a deviation from the rotating reference frame.
Did you
Yeah,
not
but
just
see when you get into when you get into this relative reference frames, that's when you go into time. That's how they get you. They can
There's no
explain time and
Coriolis. Listen.
I
There's
thought I
no-
was saying something there, Travis.
I thought you were too, Ali. I'm sorry.
No, on you go.
No, I was rude. I
No, God, you've not
apologize.
talked much. You've not said anything.
Yeah,
go for
I
it, man.
have. Yeah, I have. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So there. Question. Going back to the original event, right? When was Coriolis first observed? Was it observed as an observer not in the inertial reference frame, or was it observed from a person within? So I would say that Coriolis would not be in this discussion in people on a merry-go-round trying to throw a ball back and forth at each other. They're not going to see the apparent deflection that a person standing on the ground looking at it. So I would disagree with Jeremy. When you're on the merry-go-round, you're not seeing Coriolis. It's a different phenomenon.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Yes, the Coriolis effect is happening. The person from the outside of the reference frame is observing it, but the one from the inside, he will not be observing the same thing. So yes, Coriolis is happening at the moment, but unbeknownst to the one that's inside the reference frame, the one on the outside could observe it.
The people are rotating are the only ones that observe it. The people outside the rotating body, they just see the
They
ball
are
go
seeing
straight.
the ball going straight.
There is no
Yeah, the
rotation.
people that aren't.
Coriolis?
The people that aren't spinning, they don't see anything happen other than a ball going straight. So it's nothing to them. The only person
that's
that
right.
sees the only person
And-
that even sees the deviation are the people on the roundabout.
But this is the point, no, Jeremy. That's what I'm saying. But when you start going down that road, you start getting stuck into there. Imagine this and imagine that, and your imaginary, the imaginary kind of stuff. Reality is what is, and the reality is when you throw a ball, it doesn't move, mate. It goes straight, and that's all we need to know, because we're not, you know, we're not looking to, what shall I say, you know, go into that realm of trying to find out what the shape of the earth is by doing those specific things when we already know it's just it's not real. It's not real.
Yeah, either way though, there should have been Coriolis from the balloon flight, because you would get it if Earth was spinning. You would get Coriolis just from going up and down.
Well, I do remember Mr. Sensible saying, I don't know how much drift there should be according to ball physics, but the balloon traveled 40 miles. He said that earlier on, and then he said it traveled 40 miles, and we drove to the spot where it came down and stopped within 750 meters from where it actually landed.
Sorry.
Yeah, I caught it wrong the first time too, and I repeated it to him, and I said, or maybe it was that night after the debate, and I said it was only 750 meters away, but when I went back and listened to it, I caught my mistake.
I would have liked to have known which direction he headed.
Yeah, I know. It's the
but no, I'm not
information
saying
about
it was
where
your.
the
I'm saying
launch site is and where it came down. I couldn't find that. I didn't watch every video, but it wasn't in the descriptions and stuff that I saw.
Yeah,
you'd have to know the wind speed. You'd have to know the wind speed at every altitude on the day that it happened. Like,
but you can find that out, Jeremy. You can actually find it, because I was thinking of doing that, because, as I say, there's a few things wrong with that balloon thing. But I was saying, but you can actually do that, and you can go at the date and find out the wind speeds, the heights. You know what height it was, and lucky enough, he shows you the height, so you can actually work it out exactly, and you could work it out. If it did have Coriolis, where would it land? And, you know, or just with the wind, work it out with mathematics. And I'm sure it'll be way, way, way more than 40 miles. I can assure you that.
That's what I was thinking too, because at that latitude, you're going, I think 400 or 500 miles an hour, somewhere between there.
Something like that.
Well, I like, you know, I have my two favorite shooters. One is a guy named Edward Sarkassian. He fires a .5 straight up, and the other is a shooting pair called Sam and Mark after work. Now, Sam and Mark are long-range shooters. They don't do nothing under 2 miles. They do shots over 5,000 yards, and they don't calculate Coriolis in any direction or from anywhere they shoot. They test these rifles. They talk about barrel harmonics, air pressure, temperature, humidity, but never a bleep about Coriolis.
I don't think anybody actually uses it in reality. I've never seen one practical demonstration of that really shows us any Earth-based Coriolis at all. All they ever say is, go look at the manual, blah, 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 hurricanes.
I want to ask a very basic question. How does one calculate in reality for the Coriolis? How does it work in practical way?
But
It's
Brandon,
supposed to be
there
when you
are
shoot.
videos.
If
There
you
are
shoot,
videos, Brandon, that exhibit rotational effects on ballistics.
What kind of on ballistics?
Yeah, on ballistics and demonstrating rotational effects. Yeah, there's one guy that shoots east to west and then west to east. He shoots high one way and shoots low the other. But that's
What is the rotation of the bullet? Wouldn't it have a bias towards the rotation of the bullet? Would it obviously choose to deviate in that manner where the bullet is rotating?
If I may, when this Mark and Sam shoot,
on a
2
flat
miles.
plane.
The guy is pointing
Hold on,
his
guys.
gun
There's too
at
many people talking. We got time. Go ahead, Jimbo. I think I heard most of what you said. Go ahead, and then we'll go to the others.
Yeah, when and these are top-notch shooters there, and I just don't want them brushed off to the side. I can post their links for these two examples, and again, like I say, Edward Circassian, he fires a .5 straight up, and then runs for shelter. Now the bullet is up in the air, and the round trip takes 1 minute and 50 seconds. And no matter where he is on lines of latitude, firing straight up, that bullet's coming straight back down.
All right,
If I shot the same shot here, Earth's rotation should move me and the gun 16 miles away because I'm at the 45th latitude. If I was at the equator, it should move me 32 miles in that time.
You're
It
negating
doesn't.
kind of.
And like I say, that's for shooting straight up. The Mark and Sam after work, they do for all kinds of guns, all kinds of companies, all kinds of bullets. I haven't seen them do a shot under 2,000 yards. The guy's pointing his gun at the target, and and they talk about it. That far, the greatest factor is the breeze that might catch at the end of the trail. What they have is a 24-inch by 24-inch target.
Yeah.
Made of steel, and a windsock.
Okay.
And Brandon,
post it.
I posted 2 pictures.
He doesn't have
2
a field
pictures
of
of what
vision.
Howard was talking about.
All right.
Yeah, he doesn't have a field of vision where if the bullet misses to the right, left, up, or down, he can see where it landed.
Well,
that's what the spotter's there for. She has a wider field of view with her monocular there, and she'll tell him one target over 3 o'clock. And he'll adjust a little worm screw under his gun to compensate for that. Not Coriolis, but
They usually don't even
how
adjust
far
like that. They
the
just
wind
move
at the
according
very
to the
end.
target.
Anyway.
But they're not adjusting for Coriolis. He's right. But I posted 2 pictures that Howard was talking about from that video. It's probably the same video he's talking about because it's the same one that all the Globers use. This guy was shooting east to west, which should show an up and down difference due to Coriolis is what they say. It's actually the Atmos effect or whatever it is. But in this deal that the video they show, the difference is that the angle of the target is different. On one, they're shooting basically horizontal. The other one, they're shooting uphill. And they really don't get a huge deviation of when they're shooting west, it does appear to drop due to whatever reason. But when they shoot back east, it shoots more to the right than it does higher. So it's got some flaws in it. I would say the main thing was the difference in the elevation of the target, the difference of the angle of the shot. And that does affect the shot.
What actions did they take to isolate the variable of Coriolis as the reason for the deviations?
None. They just shot east and west 3 times at a target.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Not very
They were
scientific.
shooting at a certain point to a certain target west at a certain elevation, and then they turned around on the same table, shot west, but that target was at a different elevation. Obviously, you can see it in the video, and they really didn't even get just the up and down. The first 3 shots did go lower than the target they were aiming for whatever reason. When they turned around, the shots basically went a little bit higher, but mostly to the right. So if they're aiming at the same target and it's going right, there's a reason, probably wind, which is also affecting the up and down depending on which direction you shoot.
Sure.
It's so obvious, it's crazy, but people want to believe it. Yeah.
That's a relatively short range shot. The bullet travel time on 1,000 yards might be what, a second. When you're talking 5,000 yards like the others are, it's 8 and 9 seconds travel time.
I don't remember how far they were actually, but
well, they're probably under 1,000 yards.
these competition shooters are shooting 2 miles up the targets that are on elevations, on mountains and stuff. And the spotters tell them they missed. They don't really recalculate. They just move their scope, their crosshairs. You know, if they miss to the right, they'll move it over to the left a little bit. They really don't make many adjustments after the first shot.
Okay, so I went shooting as well.
Yeah. The only thing I want to point out on those shots, Rocky is talking exactly about what I'm talking about, but all 3 shots on both directions group, and whatever was affecting, the
situation.
I want to
Let me
ask
ask
a
this
question
Clover.
about the guns, because I
right.
really don't know. Is there a common spin direction of any given bullet? Is there like, do they all go to the right, or is it depending on the manufacturer?
Well,
That's
after a
that's
shot
going to depend
too,
on how they're manufactured.
there's
You use the
residue in the
mag.
barrel that can deflect the bullet a bit on the next shot because the barrel's
You
not
would
same
also
barrel
get
as
some.
the first shot.
And the temperature of the barrel and also each bullet is not going to be the same. So if it's off by a little bit, that's going to distort the way the bullet travels, how quickly it's going to tumble. You know, the grain of the bullet, the size of the grain and the powder and all that determines speed, which is going to determine drop rate and all that. All this Coriolis baloney is bullcrap. You can't isolate it. You can't ever prove it. You know, wind is affecting it, humidity, temperature of the barrel, the deviation in which bullet. You shoot 5 rounds of one type of bullet and then shoot 5 rounds of a different type of bullet, you're not going to hit it in the same spot. You're going to blame that on Coriolis too?
And if you don't,
There's another effect called there's another effect.
Shot, the temperature of the gun changes, so it automatically going to affect the next bullet that's going to come through.
Yeah, one of the big factors is the rifle
Absolutely.
bearing itself. It's the spiral groove that's on the
barrel
bullet.
harmonics
There's
is
the Magnus
important.
effect from that.
That's what
Barrel
I was about to say. Yeah, the Magnus effect from the spinning bullet. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Barrel harmonics
we
can
see
affect
like-
the accuracy of shots.
All right, go ahead, Gadget. What'd you say?
Yeah. I'm just wondering, are we still live or are we just?
Yeah, we're live. Yep.
Okay. What about doing an experiment? Do you know the way the rockets, the amateur rockets, what height did they go up to?
Which rockets?
The amateur rockets.
I think 70 miles, something like that, maybe.
That's the claim, but I call that total bullshit on a 5-inch rocket. Sorry, Charlie, but that's the claim anyway.
Yeah, that's the claim. Yeah.
What's the height? Like did you go up to what? To the stratosphere, did he?
Whatever 70 miles is, I can't remember what layer that is supposed to be.
Okay, so why don't we get a hold of a NASA balloon? How did they go up? How high did they go?
NASA's balloons? I don't know. Anybody know?
I don't know. Somebody made a good point earlier though about when you go up, when you're up that high, there's not a lot of atmosphere spinning with the Earth.
Listen,
I don't want to hijack Gadget's point. Go ahead, Gadget.
We get a NASA balloon, okay, with a platform, okay, and we put 3 or 4 rockets with all cameras. We go up, we go up, we go up. Just before the balloon pops in the stratosphere, we launch the rockets with loads of cameras and let them fly.
Can you do that? I guess you could try it, but you'd have to design the whole contraption.
Expensive experiment, pretty much, kind of a pipe dream in a way. I don't know if it has really bearing here in this conversation.
Well, it's not a bad idea, but yeah,
Fine.
something to think about there, Gadget. I think Ranty might have something that he wanted to present, or he stopped sharing.
No, just let me finish.
Okay.
If we can go right, we get the hot air balloon, it's not the balloon. Just before she pops, we launch the rockets.
Okay.
And we see what's up further.
Oh, you launch them so that they go higher in altitude.
Just before the balloon pops, yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever
sounds
it
like
says
a good
rocket,
idea.
it sounds like a ruckus.
That would cost, for the
It's got
flat
Uncle
earth
Ruckus.
community, that would cost fuck all. We could all pay for that. We could all put a few bob into that and see what's up there.
Well, Ranty
with proper cameras and everything, with a good platform, a round platform. I'm thinking about a round platform, and the rockets, 5 or 6 rockets, with all cameras, not fucking good cameras with level cameras, and we all shoot up.
Ranty,
put together a plan there, Gadget. Randy, you got the floor when you're ready.
Hey, Ranty. Welcome back, champion.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Yeah, I just had something to present. It was basically just going over Travis's image that he put up before. I just wanted to straighten everything up. There's you know, I mean, it's up for everyone else to discuss, but all I've basically done is just go through the image and just rescale it properly and line it up properly. So what I've done is I've taken it from this tree line here, the center, to that one, that tree there, the center, and then I've popped this over here, and I realized there was a discrepancy in the width side, you know, because it should be ending there. So I had to increase the size of this image on the right to 105.
Oh, you wouldn't be calling Travis a liar there, would you, Ranty?
No, I'm just straightening everything up. So I had to make that 105% to match the same width size of that. And then what I did is, you'll notice as well, the water line isn't straight on either image. If I go down here, you'll see that the water line there is tipped out of alignment, and it's tipped out of alignment the other way on this one. So basically what I did is I scaled them properly, and I've relined them up properly. I've actually put the image in the general chat for Travis to have a look at. And then what I did is I scaled it from the tree line down, because I would assume the tree line is not affected. So starting from the tree line down, and when it's all scaled up properly, you go from the tree lines down, and they match up perfectly. And it also intersects the house in exactly the same point on both images. So there we go.
Just for clarification, that's not a house.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was a house. It looks like a house or a building. What is it?
It is when the color is right. I suppose when it's in the evening and the sun is on it, see that it's like a red clay shoreline cliff.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
so aren't these the same focal length, Travis?
Yeah, I don't put up comparisons of photos that have different focal lengths.
So why are they side to side, not the same?
What do you mean?
Didn't Ranty just say he had to stretch it?
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask a question in regards to that, Ranty. How do you know that lining up the treetops is the correct alignment? Why did you choose that? How do you know that the whatever conditions were present in the atmosphere, the mirage, whatever, didn't cause the tree lines to be out of alignment?
Because side-to-side refraction is not a thing.
I'm not talking about
that's where you're
side-to-side refraction.
incorrect. That's where you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so
I think I do, Travis.
this is where I'm going to try not to get triggered. Okay.
Okay.
When I listen, when I set up these shots in the same spot and I aim in the same direction, I try. This is a particularly difficult one because the shot that I try to frame is to have both the right cape and the left land the cliff in the frame so that you can see that I'm trying to frame them the same. Now, I know that my camera can move and jog and this, that, and the other, okay? But in terms of what you're saying about left to right distortion is absolutely incorrect.
It's not a thing. Do you know how many
It
photos
is.
I've analyzed?
I don't give a shit. I'm showing you one right now.
Sure you don't.
I can show you others as well, and I have.
Now, when you say left to right refraction isn't a thing, what do you mean when you say left to right refraction? First of all,
Well, the density gradient in our atmosphere is vertical, and that's where the refraction happens. Either light bends up or down. The left to right is basically nothing. We don't have a gradient left to right. That's equalized by wind all the time.
okay, but that doesn't have anything to do with aligning the tops of the trees.
Wind
Yeah, that's
is
what Ranty said.
equalizing our visual horizon. Wind is doing the balance. You just said wind is playing its part, didn't you?
Yeah,
Please explain further how wind plays
it
into
will
this.
equalize. It will equalize
The
the any sideways differentials.
All right, I'm not talking about sideways. That wasn't what my question was about. My
Well,
question
he's
was, if
saying
I
it's
line up
within the
these two,
touch
hold on, Jimbo. If I line up these two treetops, if I say, okay, I'm going to line these pictures up, and I'm going to use the top of this tree line as the marker, that has nothing to do with left to right refraction.
Well, that's the dispute between me and Travis. Yeah, I'm saying it doesn't exist, and therefore you can do that, and that's why Ranty had to scale them.
But that wouldn't impact that. This could be magnified. This could be magnified in some different way. Why would left to right refraction
left to right,
affect
though.
magnification? Yeah, but we're not talking about left to right.
What do you think, Yeah, but magnification is basically refraction in all different directions, right? To make something bigger. So when you say magnify, it has to be in all directions.
Well, that wouldn't be left to right, would it? That wouldn't be left to right. That would be making
but we
things
all
bigger,
agree that
making things
up and
appear
down refraction
closer.
works. So something like, the towering effect, right? Where something's stretched out. Yeah?
Okay.
That's magnification up and down, right? But we don't call it magnification because it's
No,
not
it's
happening
not.
left to right. It is.
It is not.
It is.
It's not magnification. Okay, listen, it's not magnification because the entire image. Can I finish my statement, please?
You can.
Okay, can I? Okay, thank you. In terms of towering, in my opinion, the way that you phrased it is incorrect because the image is stretched up. It is not stretched out. Okay, so that's not magnification.
Yeah, we agree because it's only in one direction.
You just said it was magnification.
If
you said
it is if it is in both directions, up and down and left and right. We don't call towering magnification because it's only in one direction. What do you think of magnifying lens?
Hold on. Okay, so maybe I misheard what you said because you said, like for instance in towering, there's magnification. So what did you say again about towering? Can you maybe go back?
We don't call it magnification because it's only in one axis. It's only in one direction.
All right. Well, then I misheard you. I apologize.
Okay. Oh, good. So, like a magnifying lens, right? All that does is refract light in different amounts, by different amounts. And that's basically what towering is, except in one direction.
Can you calculate the radius from that? Can you?
Can I what, sorry?
Calculate the radius from that.
From a towered image? No, but I can give you a pretty accurate
Can you do that?
So my question still stands. I don't understand why you would assume that these treetops should be at the same height in this picture. I understand you're saying that you don't think magnification can happen, but this treetop could certainly look higher than this treetop from day to day or time to time.
Yes.
So
but not left to right.
But not left to right.
The left to right. Yeah, because left to right refraction.
Who was talking about
zero.
left to right? I don't understand. No one has said anything about left to right.
Because Travis said they were taken with the same focal length, yet Ranty had to stretch them.
Oh, yeah, because he did the 105%. That was my question. How did he know to do the 105%?
Because clearly they're not the same.
How do you know that's
anyway,
correct?
I'm home.
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Because left to right refraction's not a thing. I'm home, so I'm going to go in a sec.
Okay, so Brandon, I just sent you another image we've looked at before, but it's the same observation under different circumstances, and I think we'll see the same conflict. So I'm just wondering, Ranty, if you're still there, if you would just maybe do another demonstration, but not stretching it. So I'm driving right now, so I'm only listening to this. So I'm not necessarily able to think in terms of what you're showing, but if you could, I know that you. Thanks for.
Sorry.
I know that you. I know that you sent me or you posted the previous image, but do the next image, but don't stretch anything.
Zanuck has actually admitted that there is left. Zanuck has actually admitted that there actually is left to right refraction.
Yeah, but my question to Ruhif is, what if I show you the metadata and I show you, prove to you that it's the same focal length? What are you going to say then? right?
Also, if
I think he dropped off.
If
Well,
Randy's
but
still
still,
here,
the question still remains. Go ahead, Gadget.
if Ranty is still here, God bless her mom. Is she still here with us? And God bless Ranty.
Yeah,
God
that's a
bless
good question you asked, though, Travis. I don't know that, and Ranty, I'm questioning what you're doing only because I want to understand why you did it. Why would you magnify it by 105% if it's the same focal length? What does that add to the analysis? I don't know everything about analyzing these photos, obviously.
Well, atmospheric magnification, maybe? No.
Well, I just looked at it and I realised that the tree lines looked a bit shorter on the, distance-wise from each other on the right-hand side. Yeah, so when I rescaled it to 105%, it matched up perfectly. Everything matched up perfectly, even down to the cliff. So,
would you say this?
I'm not saying that the focal length isn't the right focal length. I don't know what's going on. All I'm saying is from just taking it from what I can see and just rescaling it, because that's all I do is optics, just rescale it, just see what fits. That seems to fit. Now, if that's the atmosphere that's changed that, I'd love to see that. I really would.
So let's say it was the same focal length. This would be great evidence for atmospheric magnification, no?
Oh, yes, absolutely. 100%.
Okay, so here's my question now that I'm listening to what you're saying. Ranty, in the image on the right, we don't have the same amount of land beneath the trees. Right?
Yeah, I think that's probably because you're slightly lower on that one, to be fair.
Well, the magnification would cause that to happen, though.
Quite possibly too. So
yeah, we've all seen Rob Skiba's sunset video when he magnifies the sunset and shows how it can be hiding on a flat plane.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm not denying that either.
All right, so let me ask you this, Ranty. Then, what would, let's see, what would click in your mind to, perhaps, I don't know how to ask this. Okay, so it wouldn't have occurred to me to magnify the one image because I took the images, they're both the same focal length. So in my understanding as I've looked at these images, I know why the landscape looks different. It looks different because the medium is changing its appearance. So for you, what would have you go, yeah, you know what, I don't need to scale this because X, Y, Z?
Well, I guess because I always wanted to look into magnification. That was one thing I did intend to look into, but I never got around to doing it. So it's one of those things that's always been on the table to do, but never got as far as doing it. So for me, having never looked into it, I'm just looking at it as from the research which I've done, which is just taking the image as it is and finding out what caused like the inferior mirage, what caused the bottom of things to be hidden, not stretching or warping or changing the size of things. So if this is a new line of research, and you can provide the evidence from the metadata that shows that these were the same focal length, then that is absolutely a brand new line of research that we could look into.
Yeah, Ranty, you actually had one of the best ideas that I've ever heard for checking for atmospheric magnification. When you said, I think it was a month or two ago, you said send a balloon up. You take a picture of the moon or the sun or something before you take off, and then you check the video of the high altitude when it's at its peak and see if the sun or the moon has changed sizes.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, that's like I say, it was on my to-do list. It definitely was on the to-do list, but I've never got around to it. So seeing this image without having looked into magnification, for me at least, it's you see, I'm still looking at it from the perspective of just taking an image at face value, rescaling it to size, and then seeing what's going on inside of the image without any magnification, nothing else. So Yeah, well, let's, I mean, Travis, if you've got the metadata, then that's just fantastic. If you can provide this, if you can show that these were taken with the same focal length, 100%, then it's undeniable.
This is
Okay. Well, I just sent you real quick. I just sent you another image, Ranty, in Discord.
Yeah, if this was taken with the same focal length, and I'm sure Travis can give us that, then this is the rock solid proof. Because I was debating this for half the day with him over at Gems about atmospheric magnification, and they deny. Say it's impossible, can't happen.
Yeah, well, if it can be shown that these are the, that this is the same focal. Like I said, the reason I rescaled it was because I didn't believe. See, I've never heard Travis present this before as being the same focal length, so I wasn't trying to disprove anything. It wasn't a case of, oh, Travis has said this, let's try and disprove him, because I didn't even realize you were saying it was taken with the same focal length. I thought it was just the same day, same visuals, just they look a bit different. But with you saying the same focal, see, without me knowing that you'd done the same focal length, I just automatically assumed that it needed a bit of rescaling, bit of maneuvering around to match it up a little bit.
And talking about magnification, and we're looking at these still images. In reality, you'd imagine if that was happening, stuff before your eyes be getting bigger and smaller right in front of you. So I don't.
No, okay, listen, that's.
Have you ever seen like a time lapse thing? It does happen.
Well, yeah, with refraction and things wiggling around and things like that. But magnification on the scale in which we're looking at there,
it's 5%. It's not a lot.
Okay, listen.
You wouldn't even notice.
Again.
Yeah, you wouldn't even notice that with the naked eye.
Yeah, 5%.
Yeah, Howard. Once again, though, until you make these observations, you are not speaking experience. These kinds of changes take place at a very slow rate. It does not happen. You only notice these things in time lapse, and time lapse is a condensed, sped up transition.
All due respect to all of your work, and I've complimented your work. Because I don't have a camera in front of my face does not mean that I don't look around, and I'm conscious looking. Since I've been in the community, I really focus. So I wouldn't say that I don't do observations because I'm always doing it driving down the road. You know how that is. I just don't have a.
Yeah, but Howard, listen. An observation of the change in magnification means that you are stationary and watching that thing every single second. Not driving down the road in your tractor, okay? Because you're moving and that thing's gone. This is like this is like meditation. Like you're sitting there and try not thinking about anything. You're watching this thing and you don't even notice it. Like I published a video and I said, and I played it at normal speed. And I said, okay, now watch for this. And then 10 minutes later, I said, have you forgotten what you're watching for? Because it's so slow. You don't even notice that the horizon is rising up in front of your eyes. Don't even notice.
The sooner we get the metadata for this so we can show it was the same focal length, because after that, the debate's over, right? If this was taken with the same focal length.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's it, right, Ranty? It's over.
yeah. It just shows the metadata. Just get the image out.
over for a while. The sooner we can see it, Travis, the better. The Globers are gonna doubt us, say you used a different focal length, but if we could show them that you didn't, then we're good.
It's a whole new line of research if you can just show
this
metadata. Yeah.
This magnification thing is huge for us. I don't think anybody really understands. I'm not saying we need this, but this would help us a lot.
I want to see what's up there.
This is huge for us right here.
Yeah, Ranty. So just
what are you guys looking at?
Now, just say we get a balloon, a NASA balloon, right? And we put a platform with 3 or 4 artificial rockets, right? We go up to the point that the balloon pops Then we launch with cameras on the rockets.
Somebody show percentage the Travis's thing, please. He doesn't know what we're.
So
I
is
think
the
he got
image on
in
the
there.
right? Well, I see it in like the.
Here's the
text.
original
Is
one
it-
we were talking about, percentage.
Yeah, but that's not showing the metadata, is it?
No, this is the original picture.
And the one on the right was the one that he obviously magnified.
No. This is just what Travis provided. Ranty's got the other ones. This was one he just sent.
I know, but he's the one. He took that one on the right and he magnified it 105 to match the tree line.
Ranty did,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll look for that. We'll talk to Travis about that later. The metadata. It kind of took an interesting turn.
And it matches up completely when like they're juxtaposed, superimposed, I should say. Because they might try to say it's stretching or some other distortion nonsense instead of conceding that it's atmospheric magnification.
No,
You think they're gonna? Of course, they're gonna try to deny it.
I've done what Travis asked, and I've put another image on without rescaling it, but I've basically leveled the water out so that the tree lines match at the top, and then we work down from there and we see what's going on towards the bottom of the water where these effects are happening. So I've done that. I've put it in the general chat there for you, Travis, and I've put another one in with a couple of lines on as well.
I'm sharing it now.
Thanks.
This would solve so many problems for me if we could prove this definitively that this atmospheric magnification was happening.
Yep.
Well, I mean, does that make or break any of our arguments? The magnification.
It
what I
helps a
find
lot.
much more
I'm not gonna
compelling
lie.
is the change in the horizon.
Yeah, the magnification thing is huge for it because I can explain any bottom-up obstruction with this magnification, though.
But we don't.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but we don't even need it. We already have miraging and the mirroring.
I know, it just makes life easier.
The proximate looming. We've got like 3 things already that cause bottom-up obstruction.
The looming, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the magnification would be, just one more
Yeah, for
thing.
all
I
the
think
mountain photos that they try to say like, oh, how's this mountain hidden or whatever, you could be like, well, it's magnified and you can see that much of the mountain and the rest is at the bottom is hidden because of the the inferior mirage or what have you.
Yeah, just the magnification would help a lot. Trust me.
There's a lot of research that we still need to do on this. That's the thing with optics. It seems like it's never ending. You can't have one answer that is a catch-all for everything. The globe Earth is like it's just the curvature of the Earth, but we know that's not the case. We know that's not the case. We're finding all these other reasons as to why we are seeing things disappear from the bottom up, including things like sinking. That's something else that we need to look into more.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, so with flat earthers never sleep. We're always researching. The globers, they've tied themselves into their model, and their model doesn't need any work, right? So we just continue to find more answers for more observations that we probably can't answer right now, and things like magnification. And he's right; it might help provide answers for sunsets and sunrises and things like that.
It definitely helps. Definitely, no question. If we could prove this definitively, it'd make life a lot easier for us. I'm telling you guys.
All right, sounds good. Well, it's about 10 to 8. Oh, Travis, you wanted to say something?
No, I'll just do it for my closing.
All right. Well, then why don't you go first? Your final thoughts then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just what Ranty said. Just analogy.
You're cutting out, Travis.
Okay, well, I'll come back.
Okay. All right, we'll go to percentage then.
What's up?
Final thoughts?
I have none.
All right. Allie B.
Yeah, Brandon, nice one. I was going to say to Jeremy, look, I mean, they don't even buy that the water is level. So I mean, expecting much from showing them these two pictures. But go ahead, because I get totally where you're from. It will help a little bit, but as I say, you're not going to convince any of these people. They'll just keep arguing against it. But thanks again, Brandon. Nice one, and everybody.
Thanks, Allie. Okay, Gadget.
Yeah, Brandon, how's it going? It was my birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. And you know what? All my old friends, right? I was fucking blasting them, you know, for years and years that the earth is flat. And you know what? They didn't even wish me a happy birthday today because they think I'm a fucking senile. You know what? People that don't even know wish me happy birthday. And you know, do you know where Facebook goes? People that don't even know wish me Facebook, but my best friends, the friends that I grew up with, that I tried to turn them to flat earth, they didn't even wish me a happy birthday.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. Well, happy birthday from us, and
happy birthday, Gadget.
Don't let the flat Earth ruin your relationships, for sure. That'd be my advice.
Happy birthday.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible because you know, they're all fucking indoctrinated. I think. Are they? Are they indoctrinated?
Sure. Yeah, we all are.
Yo, if they can't handle you just because you believe in a flat Earth, you know the Earth is flat, and they just if they don't want to deal with that, then they don't deserve to be in your life to begin with. That's my
exactly. Like
You don't need those people.
They're going to cut me out because I believe in something. Because I believe in something like a religion. No, it's not a religion. It's a fucking reality, you know. But they cut me out, you know. So my best friends didn't even wish me a happy birthday. But people I don't even know on Facebook wish me happy birthday. That's my life today.
All right, thanks, Gadget. Happy birthday, Jeremy.
Brandon, you're doing a great job, and just get back, Ranty. God bless your mother, and God bless you too. Courage.
God bless you too, Gadget. Have a tasty cake, man. Celebrate.
Thank you,
Jeremy.
Great. Happy birthday, Gadget.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Travis, I want that metadata now. No, I'm just kidding. But the sooner the better, because like I said, I mean, this magnification thing, this is huge for us. It makes explaining all the bottom up obstruction. I know we have things that can explain it, but this is, if it's all, it's always happening. I think they built it into the way we see things. If you double the distance, it gets half the size. I think the magnification is just built right into that effect that they have math for. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, the horizon, as you go up the horizon, if we have a clear 360-degree view and we're seeing in the same distance in every direction, the horizon is going to appear circular on a flat plane as we go up. You're going to see the horizon bending. That's all.
Thanks, Jeremy. Jimbo.
Well, I hate to sound like a broken record, but most of this chat today was about, optical activity and variations, mostly caused by temperature variations over time. One thing missing in a lot of these photos is the time and temperature, at least what information you can get about that, at least where you are. Again, the optics and the activity in front of you, and it's what it is, and it's studied as such. And if you start looking at optical purity and optical activity and see what's written about it, formulas involved in it, and what refraction is and how it falls under the optical activity, refractions. Look, when you look at a fish in the water from above and you see it in one position, if you shot at it there with a bow and arrow, you'd miss it because you're looking at a mirage. That fish is actually a few degrees over. It's like sometimes looking through a pane of glass. If you wanted to, well, I hate to say it, shoot someone through a window, you don't shoot straight at them. Depending on the glass, it has some, refraction. it will make a person seem like they're over from where they actually are. You have to compensate for that. But otherwise, you know, optical activity, it changes literally by the minute, by the degree, and by the angle of light, by a lot of factors. Over time, thus, we see it in Skunk Bay films, you know, in still shots like these, we see it day by day, day by day. There's no two shots will ever be the same, ever. That's it.
Thanks, Jimbo. Left lane.
In this journey, discover reality. Let's keep the dialogue up. Be kind to one another.
I like that. Matrix. Ranty.
About the image with Travis. Yeah, I didn't realize you'd said that they were the same focal length. So, regardless, it might turn out to be a great find. You know, finding out this magnification that's going on and the effects that it could be actually compressing it from the side in or stretching it from the side out, which is something that the Globers deny. So, if you can provide the metadata with that was really great. What else? Yeah, it was good to be on tonight and have a little blowout with you guys and catch up, see everybody. Just to let you guys know that Mum did pass though. She passed on the 11th and the funeral will be next Monday. So I've been busy all day and all weekend basically trying to get everything organised. I didn't realise there was so much you had to do when somebody dies, but so many places to call, so many things to do. Even just finding the funeral directors and getting the right person in to do the eulogy, etc. And just
May she rest in peace.
Yeah, thank you. I think at the end it was a blessing, really. At the end it was so bad to watch. Wouldn't wish that on anybody. But yeah, thanks guys for listening to me tonight. It was nice to be back for a little bit. And Travis, you're doing an excellent job. And whatever you rebrand it called, whatever you're recalling it, I think you might be calling it Brandon's. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I'm almost settled on that. Nice and simple.
Nice and simple. I like it. Brandon's. There you go. So that could be the new name of the show, and I believe it would be what, start of the year, is it? Or are you thinking of doing it before Christmas?
That's what I'm shooting for. Yeah.
Cool beans, right? Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. Thanks for being on, guys, and I'll speak to you later. Yeah.
Thanks, Ranty.
Randy, can I talk to you?
Hold on, Gadget. We're almost done here. Rakia. Rob.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
I got my shitty mic. I just want to say a couple things. Gadget, happy birthday, brother. Ranty, I'm really sorry about everything that's going on with you right now. I hope you can work through it all. I would just like to say I think it was a great show today. Just say that Bev, try thinking. Everybody needs to subscribe to Bev, try thinking. And he is not Emma UK. Whatever is going on with Emma UK and Ranty, I hope you guys can work that out.
Thanks, Rob. SE.
Great show, Brandon. I love your show. Here every day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Brandon. Good show, bro. Ranty, my condolences, bro. I know this is tough for you. One day at a time, bro. As far as the Coriolis, I was listening before. The Coriolis effect, which I love to call the Coriolis vision, cannot affect as much as a butterfly because it's only a visual effect, and the visual effect cannot affect anything. That's it. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks, SE. Bob. Right the hand.
Yeah, good show. Happy birthday, Gadget.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. My final thoughts. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you guys joining the panel. And Ranty, we all know that you meant to call Travis out. You can't hide it behind flowery words. It was no, I'm just kidding. Good stuff, Travis. Appreciated it.
Fight. Sorry.
I was hoping the two were going to go at it, but it didn't happen.
Real quick, if I'm coming.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about all from me. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Go ahead, Travis.
Okay, so just to echo what.
Oh man, you cut out. I don't know if he's going to get out the final thoughts. Go ahead, try again.
All right, how about now?
Yep.
Okay. As like Ranty said, this we have backup. Magic. Investing.
You're in and out. We're only catching every other word. Sorry, Travis.
All right, forget it.
All right, man. All right, I'll be back. I'll be recording the after show. Okay. Last couple shout outs. That Flat Fellow, 99-cent sticker. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for the support. And Taking Back Eden FE, $1 sticker as well. Appreciate that. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Got some stuff planned for this week. Going to have some special guests coming in to the show again. Not sure which days yet, but we'll see. And getting some debates lined up. Should be fun stuff. So stick around. We'll see you tomorrow, 5:05 Eastern Standard Time, 10:05 GMT. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Man, I lost my outro music.